All right, now we should be able to see everybody. And I saw Eden Wraith's comment that says here, today there will be a 50% chance of rain showers in the late afternoon, followed by about fits. I'm not sure what that means, but what does the NPR trumpet go like? I don't know.
I don't actually listen to NPR because it's American. I don't know. I don't listen to radio.
Oh gosh, wow. Yeah.
No, no,
If
it has
it's
nothing to do
not
with that. I just
Canadian,
don't get American
you
radio.
won't consume
Oh
it.
God, sorry. Yeah.
Well, the theme is in. So if it's not American, you won't consume it, huh? At the moment, that's not a bad idea.
No, no, it just we don't get American radio. I guess I could listen to it online or whatever.
You don't get American radio. You live like 5 minutes from the border, don't you? Isn't Toronto right on the border essentially?
It's pretty close. Not that close.
How far do you have to drive?
I don't know, a couple hours maybe.
Really? Oh,
Niagara
I didn't
Falls.
I didn't think it was that I didn't think it was that far away. I guess it is, huh?
Yeah, yeah, a couple. Like the closest border crossing is probably Niagara Falls. I think.
Okay, that's about 8 hours from me driving. Well, maybe 7 hours with no traffic, like it's kind of been now. So, what's up, everybody? Welcome, 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 welcome to our Tuesday. Wait, hold on a second. Making the Crimson Diamond live Tuesday at 8 p.m. This week we will be covering a music stream. We will be making death ditties, and we will be. I'm not even sure what else we're doing. We're showing off some stuff, right? Yes, the Poetry Slam stream. Oh man, we got to figure out this NPR trumpet sound. I don't know what it is. Thank you, Eden Wraith. I've been practicing all week. I haven't been working on anything related to the game, but at least I've been practicing you know, my voice.
Am I modded on yours? What's going on? I want. Can I get a free emote, or do I have to buy it with channel points?
I think you have to buy it with channel points,
Oh my gosh. All
and I can't give anybody anything as far as I know.
right. Okay.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. So anyway, we should celebrate. This is my first real stream as uh, as a affiliate, right?
Yeah, man.
So it's pretty cool. There we go. There's some DTB logos, and the emote that you see there is my logo, but it is the EGA Julia version. What should we call that? The Crimson making the it's the making the Crimson Diamond DTB logo version.
Sure.
Sure. So holy cow. I never
What?
realized that. So read
What?
this. Eden Waith. So we pronounce
Yes.
his name wrong.
No, I don't. You do.
Oh, nice. Nice. So I've been doing that the whole time. I
Hmm.
like I like Wraith though. That's pretty cool. It's like what's the movie Lord of the Rings? It's very Lord of the Rings.
Just the ring weights.
Or if you're playing The Witcher, those
The ring
enemies are
weights.
tough in the beginning of Witcher 3.
I don't play console games.
It's not a console game, it's a PC game.
Is
Well,
it?
it wouldn't run on the Surface Pro, I don't think.
Well, then I don't play
Yeah, maybe The Witcher Text Adventure would run on there, but
it.
maybe not the full 3D version.
Do they have a Witcher Texas
I'm
Adventure?
sure they do. They have
Okay.
everything. They have everything these days. So, I've got a few little things in mind, which I'm going to do the Mr. Burns fingers because, probably hasn't heard of an indie gem like The Witcher 3
It's that Netflix TV show. That's what I know.
with Superman.
Yeah, yeah. It's this one with Superman in it, right?
Yeah. Did anybody watch him building a PC video? You sent it to me, right?
Yeah, I think everyone watched that.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Maybe my brother, I think Sammy Buckets might have sent it to me too. It's terrible. He doesn't know what he's doing. He puts the chip in the wrong way, and literally building a PC in 2020 could not be easier than it is currently.
I think it was his first build.
Who cares?
What do you mean? Who cares? He read the instructions.
What man reads the instructions first of
Oh my
all?
gosh, here we go.
So let's see. What did he say? What would be the point of watching him build a PC? Well, I don't know, but a lot of people watched it. A lot of people watched it. And the funny thing is, Superman and I have the same CPU. That's the only thing that's slightly cool.
That's why I sent it to Dan because I remember him talking about the Ryzen, whatever what you call it. To it.
Ryzen or Ryzen. I'm not sure how they pronounce it. Ryzen or Ryzen. I don't know. 3900X CPU, which is actually not the fastest one you can get, but it's up there among the fastest you can get. So let's see. Oh, check this out. Eden Waith, not Eden Wraith, does have a Middle Earth. So I've been getting it wrong for like 2 months and nobody bothered to correct me. Come on. You guys got to help my sorry self out. Does have a Middle Earth connotation. There is a place in Middle Earth named Enid Waith. So I think my handle was a mutated version of that name. Okay. Interesting. Exactly. If you read those, you wouldn't have broken your Transformers on Christmas. Speaking of Transformers, before I get to the actual show and tell I was going to show off, let's show off the one Transformer I do own. Physical, actual Transformer.
Sure.
I've been trying to get a second one, but I have not been able to find it for a reasonable price. But I do own Soundwave.
The original?
The original 1980, whatever this was, 4, I guess, Soundwave.
Okay.
And look, there's Julia's reflection in Soundwave's, whatever that you call it, tape cassette player. So yeah, your Soundwave doesn't have a head. No, my Soundwave is all there. What he doesn't have is the weapons and stuff. He transforms still. His tape cassette player works. I think. It used to work. Yeah, there we go.
So is this from your childhood, or did you buy this later?
No. I got this a couple of years ago from a friend of mine who I used to get a lot of video games from.
Okay.
My friend Sal. He used to have a pita restaurant, of all things, and he would host swap meets there, which was pretty awesome.
Okay.
And even better, he would let people drop off and pick up their video games. So if we sold to each other in the local community, there you go. He's fully transformed. He's in pretty good shape. And he sold it to me for $20, which I think is a pretty good price for this guy. But a few years ago, anyway. You had to, as a musician, you kind of feel like you have to have Soundwave. And then the other guy I'm trying to get is Blaster. So Blaster is, he's also a cassette player of some kind of boombox, I guess. Well, I don't know. What is Soundwave officially like a Walkman before? What year did the Sony Walkman come out? 1979 or something? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Switches in.
ZZ says Soundwave superior Constructicons inferior.
Yep.
Okay, so did you not have Soundwave as a child and you had to
I didn't have.
it
I had some Transformers, but I'm not too sure. I think my mom got whatever ones were like either hand-me-downs or like on sale. So we had like random guys. Like I had like this bee guy. He was one of the Insecticons. I don't even remember his name. So there's Soundwave. I transformed him back.
This is wonderful.
But the hard thing to find is those is the tapes. He actually has tapes that go in them and they transform. Their guys' names are Ravage and Laserbeak. And Laserbeak was like a cool sound guy too. He could like hear stuff real far away or whatever.
I had a Yakback Deluxe Tux. It's somewhere around here somewhere.
What's a Yakback?
It's just something that can record with like your sound or voices or whatever for a few seconds, and you press it and plays it back.
I think Sammy Buckets had a Talk Boy, or my other brother had a Talk Boy. Laserbeak, yeah, I'd like to get Laserbeak. Jazz is cool, but he doesn't really have anything to do with music other than his name, right? Is he the one that talks super fast? No, that's a different guy. Shrapnel was a beetle. I don't know if it was Shrapnel. Kickback was the grasshopper. It was Kickback then. It was definitely Kickback. He has the big boombox.
So this is what you wanted to show before your Grammy certificate. Is what you
That's more important. That's more important. So let's see. So Jazz had sound-based music attacks where he'd pump the music. Oh yeah, that's right. And he was some kind of, he was like a Porsche 911 or something. He looked like that. I love the original Transformers music.
Did you see?
was pretty cool. It was like real, like I think the late '70s or the '70s in general and the early '80s probably had the best TV music because they used to hire like full bands to do it.
Nice.
So no Freebird. The trolley from Mr. Rogers. I don't know if that was a good horn noise, but close enough. Yeah, Transformers, uh, Zierfall. The movie was the last movie that Orson Welles did VO for before he passed away. I'm not sure what year. I think probably what 1984, 1985. But yeah. So let's see. You wanted to see this Grampy certificate?
The granny certificate.
Granny certificate? Okay, let me see. So here's a funny story. I don't know if you can see it right now based on the angle this is on, but there's probably episodes where you can actually see the certificate.
I have to wait on delay, so I can't react to this yet.
It actually sits behind me pretty much all the time.
Okay. I had another Transformers question before we did it, though.
Oh, well, too late now. You're also reflecting in the Grampy certificate, so.
Okay, that's fantastic.
If you can read this, it says, present this, the Grammy Foundation presents this certificate to Dan Policar in recognition of your participation as keyboard player in the Grammy-nominated recording Full Frequency by Sean Paul in the category Best Reggae Album, 57th Grammy Awards year 2014. Wow, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but it sure was. So there you go.
Fantastic.
There's the Grampy certificate.
There's the Grampy, and it's framed and everything. Did you do that separately, or did they give you an option like when you graduate from high school?
No. So here's this. Check this out. If you get nominated for a Grammy and you can get one of these certificates, but you actually have to pay for the certificate. They don't even send it to you.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
What?
Yep. And if you win a Grammy, you still may have to pay for your certificate and or your Grammy. A lot of times what happens is if you're the artist and you're televised or something like that, your record label will pay for it. So they'll get it and get it sent to you and whatever. Can your printer emboss stuff? Yes, I have a printer too. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. They send it to me. I probably should have kept the thing that it came in, the envelope that it came in, but it came from the Grammy Foundation. It was pretty cool. Does Dan also have a certificate for getting an A in 4th grade music class? No, but I do have a big book that my mom sent me of a bunch of like report cards and stuff from when I was a kid. And there's actually a certificate from my uncle about a video game. So maybe I'll share that one time, but not then. Yeah, I have piano awards too for playing piano. But I don't even know if I ever got like the max score. I'm not even sure I did. Yeah, Dave Orr, best reggae album is definitely a category, but there's a lot of non-televised categories. So Sean Paul would have gone to the Grammys because he was nominated. Pretty much if you're nominated, you're for the most part going unless you're on tour or something. And in a televised category, more often than not, you're going. It usually takes place in February, so there's no tours going on really in the U.S. There's some, but it's freezing for being that it's the winter, for the majority of the country. So, yeah.
But you said you weren't invited to the awards, right?
No. I wouldn't have been invited. I mean, there's 200-300 people's credits on that album for various roles. Like the art director would get a nomination because it was best reggae album, as opposed to like if it was only one song, then only the artist that did the single artwork or the whatever related to that particular song, but it was the whole album. So
okay.
Yeah, and Eden Waith, am I pronouncing that right now? 17? Waith? I don't know. It's hard because it's Middle Earth stuff, right? So does anybody know how it's properly pronounced?
It's Eden Wyeth.
Eden W. 8th. It would be E.W. 8th, yeah.
All
Eden
right.
Waith. Okay, cool.
Well,
So,
I didn't want to be left out, so I did bring a couple of my recognitions
oh, nice.
to share.
This is gonna be new.
Okay. Yes.
Eden
Okay. So
with a
let's see.
long A sound. Waith. Sorry, that was really bad.
Okay.
I had to
So
do it.
one of the things I have. This is basically the same thing as Dan's Grammy. Basically, this is my Ontario Cups,
Ooh.
my provincial champion, but it's a finalist ribbon on the medal. So this means my team came in second in the provincial
Right. So neither of
championships.
us won, is what it says.
Right, but I will argue that this is made of metal and it's heavier.
I was going to
Um,
say, are you going to argue was the other team on steroids or something like that? They had
no, but
older
my
people on the
argument is
team.
that the recognition is actually better because what I wanted to show you is
Oh my
I have
goodness.
two of them, and one of them is the finalist medal, but this one
Actually
is
says
champions medal. I
winner.
actually
Oh
actually
dear.
champions of provincial champions, and so I did win once, and it's basically a dynasty, right? I know it's not, but
You're like the New England Patriots of the
right?
Ontario. What? Can you show it again? One of them? I can't really read all of it. The Ontario Soccer Association, 1923 and 1901. That was a long time ago. Where did you get these medals?
What are you talking about?
Look at the dates.
I don't know why they're changed. It's weird. I just looked at them today, and I'm like, why is the
Oh,
date different on these
so
things?
as my printer prints out Grammy certificates, you just find random trophies at yard sales. What do you call them in
I won
Canada? Do you
these
call them
legit.
garage sales or yard sales or car boots? Do you call them
No one
car
calls them
boot
car boots,
sales?
but the other two will do. But
Okay,
anyway,
that's a London thing.
at least as good as Dan's Grammy certificate.
Except the date is very suspect. You were
I don't know why
probably
it's
not alive in
different.
1901 or
No, but it's
1923.
established. Like the organization was established
Oh,
then.
so they
Ontario Soccer
reestablished
Association.
themselves 22
I don't
years
know.
later?
I'm gonna look this up right now because I only noticed this to like yesterday or today.
Yad sales in New England.
Yard
Nice one,
sales.
Davor. Yeah,
Oh
got him from Goodwill. Exactly.
my gosh. Well, Dan got his from Goodwill too.
Said, wow, you're way older than you look. Yeah, she's 140 years old. 139. Not bad, considering. No,
Well,
100,
you don't know how old I was when
119.
I
I
won them.
can't add.
Okay. What? When was this established? I don't know.
There's
Now
no
I'm
there.
all confused.
Uh-huh.
Whatever.
Did you actually participate in the gymnastics event, Deluxe Tux? I don't know. I don't buy this. I feel like there's some stuff going on here.
Oh, do I have anything with my name? Hold on, let me see. I don't think
Nice.
any of these trophies have my name on them.
I have a nephew that got accepted to Temple University this coming year for gymnastics on a gymnastics scholarship.
Oh, nice.
He does all kinds of stuff I would never be able to do in my life. Perhaps Julia lived through the events that happened. Yeah, did you ever watch like True Blood or something? She's like 200 plus years old. She just stopped aging when when she got turned into a vampire. And that's why she's in a room with no windows. So, and we only can stream after 8 p.m.
Yep, when it's dark out.
So, I mean,
Zerfall. All right, here's my 1896 Nobel Prize.
if the
Fine.
shoe fits.
I thought you guys would be impressed, but now I'm getting nothing but guff. So I think we can move on.
Guff, I don't know. We're impressed by your long life that you've had. Can you tell us about World War One and World War Two?
Oh yeah. Well, we call that one the Great War, the first one.
Okay. What was great about it?
Well,
Not a lot, probably.
No, it was kind of like in those times, great meant a different thing. You see, it was that long ago.
Okay.
It meant really bad.
I gotcha. Makes sense. My mother-in-law from Central Illinois adds an R. Warsh. Yeah, there's a weird thing in Washington, the state of Washington, that a lot of people pronounce it Washington, which makes absolutely no sense. It's not Warsh. There's no Warsh. And here they, instead of like a drawer, what do you say drawer? Or do you say draw?
Drawer.
Drawer. Like Droor, you would spell it?
Drawer. I say drawer.
Yeah, not draw, right? They say
No, not
draw also.
draw.
Yeah, my wife says draw.
Your
Yeah,
mom's
exactly.
oh.
We need a
Where's
Kim
she from?
cameo for accent.
What? Why does she say draw?
I have no idea. She's from Long Island, I guess, and that's what they
Okay.
do. No one says draw, Dan. That's made up. I wish that were true. One of the voice actress, Ivy Dupler, says draw too. Is she from the Northeast? Because that would make sense. She would
Hmm.
say draw. Long Island.
Long,
Yeah, and the way they pronounce that, they pronounce it this way. Long,
long,
I'm pretty sure like that.
Long Island.
Yeah.
Long.
Yeah,
Alex Tuck
it's
said he was up for a big award a few years ago, and then the manager copped out and gave one to all 25 people on the team.
Oh, I hate that stuff. That's You know what? That's no good. It's no good for kids to see that everybody wins cuz in life nobody is
Wins?
experienced well, sometimes. In life not everybody wins certainly. Yeah, in life nobody wins. So maybe then everybody winning is a good thing. Never love anything. Long Island was the name of my last D&D character. Nice. Springfield isotopes included. Oh, so I fixed the YouTube link in this social finally, so it should
Oh,
work.
good.
I believe it does work.
Very nice.
February. Yeah, I don't know. It's like you don't pronounce the D in Wednesday though, do you? The
No,
first D. You
no.
pronounce only the second D.
Yar,
Wednesday.
Luan. Um, okay, Dan.
Yeah. So
Um,
I don't know about
oh, wait.
February either.
Why did I change that?
I thought you were gonna show off some discount CD-ROMs or something.
Oh, I thought we were gonna do that separately. I can do. I only have one. It won't take that long.
Oh, okay. So let's hold that for later
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited about
We
that.
got to get to business over here. Let's get down to business.
Well, I have a couple of things. If you are just joining us, welcome to Tuesday at 8 p.m., even though it's 8:45. Making the Crimson Diamond live with Dan and Julia. Normally it's on Tuesdays, it alternates. We do an art stream next week. Well, I should say we loosely because Julia does an art stream next week and I troll on the chat.
Yes.
And I will then be on again in 2 weeks with Julia. Amiga Bill, yes.
Yes. Woohoo.
Ah, my good friend Amiga Bill. If you guys don't watch and know about Amiga Bill already, I think many of you know about him. You should watch his channel. I think he mostly streams on Sundays around 2 p.m. Eastern time, but he is obviously an Amiga guy, and I love the Amiga computers, and I have a couple of them here, which eventually I'll show off because I finally got this area that I I don't have the command. How do I do that? Do I have to
You
do
add
it?
it to Nightbot or something. I did it too. I've
Oh.
done it myself.
Well, Amiga Bill's channel is very easy. It's twitch.tv
Yes.
slash Amiga Bill. Can we link
Awesome.
it on there?
Yep. Yeah. Let me do that. I can link it up.
Does that work? Or somebody can post it in there. Um, but yeah, it's great. And he plays a lot of games. He talks with different people related to the Amiga. He plays games that aren't always Amiga. Sometimes he does. He did a stream of Virtuaverse a week or two ago. I think maybe 3 weeks ago. And then I caught him on a stream where he was doing Turrican 2, and the composer of the game showed up on stream. It was awesome.
Yes.
So, so he is doing this Thursday instead. Okay, cool. He's got a gig this Sunday. Oh, that's good. So Amiga Bill is back at work. If you don't know about him, he is in his day job in the TV and film industry, and so he's been kind of like me, where we've all kind of been just homebound because our work can't really take place. Yeah, normally he's on Sundays at 2. Check him out there, and you can also check out his YouTube channel. He's got a YouTube channel as well, and there's a
Ooh,
lot
let me
of
find
good
that.
coverage. He's actually lives nearby. There's the Westchester Amiga Users Group, which he has been a part of for, oh man, a long time. And he added me a year or two ago. And I met him personally at the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, which unfortunately this year is not going to happen physically. It's happening live on online platforms, for obvious reasons. Going strong since 1988. Wow.
Oof, good work.
So that's like 2 years after the Amiga actually came out, right? Or 2 or 3 years. I think it came out in 85 or 86. Yeah, I did actually trim my eyebrows. Thanks for noticing, Eden Waith. I'm very happy about that. But yeah, so the Amiga computer, if you don't know, especially here in like an audio music stream, it's pretty cool to talk about because they were way ahead of their time, graphics and sound wise. I've showed it before. I showed some Defender of the Crown, which was kind of like the flagship showcase. I think one of the flagship showcase games for the release of the Amiga, and it may have been for the 500. I'm not sure. The 1000 was the first one, and the 500 came later. It's a little confusing, but that's what it is. And it was way ahead of its time graphically. It was way ahead of its time sonically. They were doing stuff unbelievably. Yeah, so Eden Way says I expect you to see you creating some retro music on Amiga eventually. So I'm really tempted to do it. The only thing is it uses mod music, and I don't know if there's anything special about using the Amiga specifically now other than the fact that it's cool to use retro hardware, but I could probably make mod music that would play on an Amiga but using modern hardware. So that would simplify the process a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna mess with it. Ooh, you got a 2000 HD on your desk to the left of my main computer. Yeah, so what you probably have is a video toaster setup because it was used a lot for TV at the time, which makes sense. Which makes sense that Amiga Bill would, be a TV guy and an Amiga nut at the same time, right? Like, there's not too far from each other. I assume he was probably using Video Toaster and maybe Scala and some of these other programs back in the day. I actually bought an Amiga CD32 console. If you know anything about that, it's kind of one of the more rare consoles that was made by Commodore, Amiga, whatever, and it was not sold in the U.S. So the only NTSC version, which means the North American television version, was sold where else? Any guesses, Julia, where that was sold?
Oh my God, come on.
It was sold only in Canada.
Okay, I should have guessed that. You're right.
So every Amiga CD32 that made its way into the US either was from the gray market or from Canada. So somehow they were imported from Canada or whatever. Yep, so there you go. He used to use Genlock to make videos in high school. Yep. Scala, no, I think Scala was like a video editing software or like video playback software because the guy that I bought the CD32 from was using it to like play videos. He was like a DJ or a VJ, like doing stuff with videos way back in the day, but using the CD32 as a playback device. And the CD32 was also unique because it, with a expander card, could be made into an Amiga 1200, which is kind of like the most common, I think, Amiga that everybody wants. That's like the most sought after. Okay, there you go. Scala was a multimedia authoring program like PowerPoint. And of course, it was probably way ahead of its time, too. The Amiga 32 was smuggled via Montana just like liquor during the dry years. Yeah, well, now I'm wondering if people are going to start sneaking over the border like Prohibition time, sneaking over the border to Canada, but just sneaking themselves over, like they're bootlegging themselves over to Canada. Yeah, so anyway, so that's a little bit of story of Amiga, and I like it because I just love the computers. They're way ahead of their time. Like I said, until you and they use the Motorola 68,000 CPU and various versions as you got further into the Amiga life. But that was probably you may know the Sharp X68000. If you know that runs off the same CPU, but that came a few years later, and that was a Japan only system, and that system was also extremely ahead of its time. So yeah, but the Amiga is just a really cool system, and it has a lot of roots in music. And there's a big producer named Calvin Harris, music artist, if you're familiar with him. He's kind of famous for making his first album on Amiga. His first album was made at least as I understand it, entirely Amiga music, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so Eden Waite, it's not a programming language. It's as Amiga Bill was saying, it's like a multimedia program. I think it was probably I don't know. I don't know what year Scala came out as a programming language, but that's what it was. So yeah, so we have some death ditties that we worked on
Yes.
last week, 2 weeks ago. I have
2 weeks
no
ago.
idea what day or time it is.
Nope.
Um, and I actually sent you the files
Yes.
of that.
Yes.
Scala was in Chrono Trigger. Interesting. So 2004, that the Amiga version of that software would have predated it by some time, because I think the CD32 was in the early 90s sometime, or maybe even before that. Yeah, 10 years maybe. So, are we gonna? It was out in the late 80s. There you go. It's crazy. That thing was way ahead of its time. The Amiga story is crazy. Amiga Bill also recently interviewed a guy named David John Pleasance, who was head of Commodore UK, and he recently wrote a book on the whole story of it from his perspective. Can you play Final Countdown on that keyboard? You know what's funny about that, Sefsi? I think I should, because how does it go? If you want to know something very funny, the intro to Sean Paul's show plays Final Countdown. We play Final Countdown.
Oh.
So one day I'll find that and we'll play the intro to a live show. So yeah, Monkey Island music. Well, that's interesting because it is the MT32 that I'm using and the marimba patch. So that's what kind of I think it's probably most famous. Maybe one of the most famous pieces for MT32 would be the Monkey Island theme song. Would you say that? Would the chat say that? I think it is. It's up there. Certainly up there. I always ask Julia, at least when I first was like talking to her and meeting her, I was saying like, what's your favorite theme song? And she first of all, she tells me she doesn't like Caribbean music. Then she proceeds to tell me that her favorite theme song of any game music is Monkey Island. And I said, well, this is Caribbean music, right?
Yes, I know this.
I don't even know if I know the song. I'm sure I could play it. Dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
I could probably play it. I'd have to hear it. But yeah, I'm sure I could play it. So yeah, I was kind of like a little confused when I heard that. I was like, okay, so you hate Caribbean music, but your
I didn't
favorite,
say I hate it. Oh,
you said you
God.
disliked it.
Yes.
Is that right? I'm paraphrasing. But I was like, okay, so you dislike Caribbean music, but this song is Caribbean and this is your favorite song. So I just wonder if sometimes Julia's a little bit confused.
Oh my God.
Slat Studio says, nod your head politely. Yes, Julia. She's more into those Canadian tunes. Well, she thinks she is anyway.
You need to sample Monkey Island for a Sean Paul song at some point. You need to do that.
I can't afford the rights. There you go. Perhaps he meant reggae. Well, I mean, is it reggae? It's Caribbean. Reggae doesn't really use steel drums. A lot of people think that like steel drums are part of Jamaican and reggae tradition. So I've spent a lot of time in Jamaica and I've never, other than at the airport occasionally, there's like, no, I'm lying. Not at the Jamaica airport. Haiti, I saw it. At the airport in Port-au-Prince. I definitely saw steel drums. I'm trying to think of other airports in the Caribbean. Maybe in Trinidad? Mm, possibly in Trinidad, but not so much in Jamaica. Jamaica's not really heavy on the steel drums. It's not like Jamaica owns reggae. Yeah, but they do. They own the invention of it, certainly. Um, and yeah, Amiga Bill, go for it, man. Break out some white rum. If you trace back the roots, what was I watching recently? That the guy said, "Oh, there's this new music called." Oh, it was an interview with John Lennon right before he died. What year was John Lennon assassinated? 81, 79, 80, somewhere in there? 1980? Okay. So he said, "Oh yeah, there's this fantastic music called reggae coming out of Jamaica." And that would have been pretty early. So not a lot of people would have known like Jamaica like that, like reggae music like that. And he was promoting it. He was sitting there saying, you know, this is some music that you should check out. And this was, I believe this, if you want to watch the interview, it was the last interview he gave on TV before he passed, before he was killed.
Mm.
So, and he doesn't seem at all like what I've read. It's a bad year for musicians, 1980. Yeah, there you go. Yep, in New York City, yeah. Yeah, the interview took place on some American TV show. I'm not sure the host. I didn't recognize him. Probably was famous slightly before my time. But yeah, he was talking about Jamaican music. And then, of course, Sting was heavily influenced. The Police were heavily influenced by reggae. And it wasn't like it is now, you know. Was Bob Marley killed the same year, 1980? I think he was. And that probably also catapulted, you know, in a way, created his legend and made it bigger. Bonham also passed in 1980. Yeah. 1981 from Marley. Yeah, so you know, you're talking about that era. So he was a little bit ahead of that time. Okay, good. So, just to give a little history on that. Yeah, Monkey Island. I should make something with that. You know, I thought about making something. I played a couple of weeks ago. I played the theme from Ease 1 and 2 because I like to share music that I really like.
Yes.
And all of that led to 1993 and 12 Inches of Snow. I'm not a history teacher, but more of a music. I'm definitely a music teacher. I've started teaching music in, I'm just trying to think, 2000, year 2000. An interesting thing about Snow, too. Snow is, you know where Snow is from? The artist Snow? Do you know the song?
Isn't he from Canada?
He is from Canada. And he comes from a Jamaican community in Canada, or he was raised or hung out in a Jamaican community in
Flemington
Canada.
Park?
I'm not too sure, but was it Toronto?
Yeah.
It was Toronto? Okay. And he had songs with a bunch of Jamaican artists. He was actually respected by the Jamaican artists. And Informer was a big record. And I think last year, J Balvin and some other guys sampled that song and eventually put him on the remix.
Oh.
It's pretty cool.
That's nice.
So he again made some money and whatever. Yep, Informer was the original Snow song. But if you know Snow, there's another song called Anything for You. And it features a whole bunch of Jamaican artists. I think Beanie Man is on the song. I can't remember the singer's name, female singer. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So anyway, as I always like to do, I like to play intros and pieces of games that are something that I'm influenced by. Now, this particular thing that I'm going to play here shortly, let's see if this is up here. Full screen this. Whoops, sorry. Why is that doing that? Hold on a second. Full screen. Oh, because I'm using the wrong command. Okay, so I'm going to share an example of an intro, and it's very long. So I'm not going to play the whole thing all at once. I'm going to play a little piece of it. If you guys know the game, it came out, I think, in 2017, either 2017 or 2016. It's called Yakuza 0. Is anybody familiar with the Yakuza series? Because I'm hoping... Ooh, what did Faruko... Secret of Monkey Island. Interesting. Anybody familiar with that series? Amiga Bill, Sammy. The reviews I've read, this is the first Yakuza game I've ever played, but the reviews I've read is that Yakuza 0 was the best game. I don't know if that's the case. I played maybe 2-3 chapters in, and I thought what really surprised me. Oh, nice. What's up,
Yes.
Ambersine? Nice, very nice. We got to give some shout outs for that. So I also got sounds, and I haven't figured out how to implement them, but I'll figure out how to implement them to these channels so you can do cheers or something like that, and I'll give Julia her own set of sounds. MT32, of course.
I figured out the emojis thing, so Dan can figure out the sound thing.
It took me a long time to figure out the emoji thing. Oh, man. But yeah, so anyway, the Yakuza 0 I really liked because I thought, first of all, it's a game that's not in English. There's not one word written in it, well, spoken in English, at least. You know, I lied. There are a couple of words here and there, but none of the sentences, none of the dialogue is in English. It's all in Japanese. And I read the subtitles, which the game is all subtitled. And the subtitles, I don't know how they processed it because it clearly cannot be perfectly translated from Japanese because the subtitles are so good. They're so well written. The story is so well done, right? I don't even know how that's possible, but that's what they managed to do. They managed to do this, and you'll see as we watch this, you'll see the subtitles. And I chose this piece because the game is so excellent. And then I'll tell you what I think of the music after we watch a little bit of it. So let's skip over here. So that's the first little piece, and that's the first little cutscene that basically it's just trying to give you a sneak peek into what life was like in 1988 in this area of Osaka. I don't really know how accurate it is, but Julia kind of felt like it had some accuracy. Would you say that's fair, Julia? Is that a fair
It's probably
assessment?
exaggerated, but yeah.
Yeah, exaggerated for sure, but has some accuracy. Fair?
Yeah, I don't really. I did visit Japan in the 80s, but I was like really young.
Gotcha.
So I don't remember the
Yeah, sure.
the establishments that you see in Yakuza 0. But
Sure. No, I don't know if they're real, but it's just basically introducing you to the idea of this cabaret, which is kind of a club in Japan. So I'll keep playing. So I'm going to pause it right there. And this, as I just gave this game a rave review, that music was absolutely, for 2017, was absolutely disgraceful, in my opinion. That, like, what? This sounds like a Nintendo Wii game. Let's rewind this and hear this again. Disgraceful. Disgraceful. Ugh. But my understanding is, I'll talk about it a little more. Let's play.
こりゃすごいね。東京でもこんなに派手な店は見たことないよ。
そりゃもうここが何はナンバーワンの店ですさかい。蒼天堀来てグランドへ寄らんやなんてタコなしのたこ焼きみたいなもんですわ。いや先生には遠路はるばるお越しいただいたんやから今日はたっぷり楽しんでもらわんと。ささ行きましょう。
でもさ、本当に大丈夫なの？こっちってこれもん多いって話じゃない。
そないなことありまへんて。もう先生何べん言うたら信じてくれはるんですか。
でも蒼天堀って言ったらあの近江連合のお膝元でしょ。町ごとヤクザの巣窟みたいなもんだろ。
まあ
ましてやこの手の店なんてもう、あそこの席、あれ絶対ヤクザだよ。やっぱり私帰るよ。
大丈夫ですってほんまに。物騒な店も確かにありますけどこの店に限っては絶対安心。折り紙付きです。あれは確かにヤーさんやけどこの店じゃおとなしゅうしてますよ。
妙にこの店の肩を持つね。
まあまあ細かい話は抜きにしてささまずは座って一杯やりましょうねえ。ほらさあ。
All right, so let's pause it here. I don't want to play the whole piece of it now, but this is chapter 3, I think. So there's 2 characters you can play in this game, and one guy you start the game as this guy Kiryu, and then you later become this guy that's coming in later. But Kiryu is like, he's a pretty badass dude. I was watching it, I was playing the game, and I was like, man, this dude is like, he's a beast. So I do some research on the game, and apparently it was nominated for some kind of award, and the other character that comes in later is the one that's nominated for the award. And I was like, wow, like they did better than this guy? Interesting. I'll be waiting to see it. But I'll show you why I think that was the case in a little bit. As we go on to this, we'll watch a little bit more of this maybe later. I'll stop it at this point. But it's kind of giving you an impression of this club is jazz big band, so it's refined and classy and expensive, and this guy is somebody important. You don't really know who he is. I'm not even sure he's significant in the game or not. No spoilers if you played and beat this game. I've only gotten to this point. I think I don't really get too much time to play games, but this is where I kind of stopped, so we'll jump back here. And that's a little bit of the intro, but I was really disappointed with the music. I was listening and I was just like, what is this? Like, why they would spend all of this money on the game, especially like if you've played this game, there's mini games. There's a baseball mini game. There's a karaoke mini game. There's a dancing mini game. There's Outrun. The actual Sega Outrun arcade game is in the game in an arcade that's playable. Space Harrier, actual Sega arcade game in an arcade that's playable. There is a crane game, perfectly mimicking the arcade crane machine, also playable. What else? Oh, there's Shogi. Is that the name of the game?
Yeah.
Chess. It's like chess, kind of.
It's funny because Dan messaged me and he said, He said I like the bowing in this, and I thought he meant he liked the bowling because I know there's bowling in it.
Is there bowling too?
I thought there was bowling.
There
I thought
might
I
be.
saw something in the
There's
trailer.
batting cages for sure. There might be bowling too. There's all kinds of mini games. So, yeah, exactly. But that's what it is, Dave. Because it's frustrating, just like the real thing. I'm trying to win something, and I'm like, wow, this is just as frustrating as in real life. Except when I kind of figured it out, it was, it was. What's the best way to say it? It was easy. I won 2 prizes in one go, which they don't usually let you do that. If you win 1 prize, it's gone. Oh yeah, slot car racing. There's slot car racing in the game, and it's good. Like all of these are good. They're impressive. Like the karaoke looks like Rock Band, and the dancing looks like that too. It's like got that kind of vibe to it. It's amazing. So yeah. Anyway, what did it say? I think Dan's saying he would have done the soundtrack better and for free. Well, I would have done the soundtrack better, but I would not have done it for free. That is for sure. If you listen to the songs in Empire of Sin, that's another game that if you don't know, I'm working on another game in addition to the Crimson Diamond called Empire of Sin by Brenda and John Romero, and that will be coming out later this fall. And that music is using, it's the style. The game takes place in 1920s Chicago, so the music is as you'd expect for 1920s Chicago. In my opinion, I've done music kind of similar to this that's far and away better than this. So this is embarrassing. This is why I call it embarrassing.
But I thought you
So-
explained why that was the case, though.
Well,
To me,
so I'm not sure that this is the case with this part of it, but there is some music in this game that was removed. It was licensed music for the Japanese version, and then for some reason in the US, I assume it's money. The licensing issue was a money thing. That they didn't pay for the license for the music for the US because probably it's more expensive. I don't know. Although I don't think so because Japan is an interesting market for music. They still sell a lot of CDs there. In fact, I think they're like the #1 physical music sales place in the world. But they certainly are, at least per capita. If you want to make a CD and sell it, Japan is the place to do it. So I don't know if the localization. How do you be broke for a game that you're going to sell huge in the U.S.? I have to think the game market in the U.S. is bigger than anywhere on the planet. I would think. I could be wrong. I'm not that heavy into game design where I would know these kind of questions, but I would bet that's the case. Yeah, the artist has died of exposure. Exactly. So yeah, the keyboard versions of DDR. So the thing is, when you actually start Yakuza 0, it says real Yakuza use a controller, and it shows you like a fake Xbox controller in there. So I'm using an Xbox controller plugged into the computer to play it.
because it told you to.
Well, no, yes. Yes, because I didn't want to have a bad experience just using the keyboard. Whereas I've been playing GTA 5 a little bit without using a controller, and it's a better
Okay.
experience with the keyboard and the mouse, to be honest. I played it on PS3. It's a much better experience. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think this jazz music is part of the licensed soundtrack that's missing, but the sound in the game, the music, I should say, the sound in the game is very good. The music in the game is mostly not. So I'm not too sure.
It's so interesting to me because I was saying to you before that I watch a lot of like any like Japanese shows and stuff, and they have a lot of when they have like singing contests, or they have like they have every week they have like 3 or 4 different singing shows, and they always have a live like orchestra, a live band and stuff
There
like
you
that.
go,
So they
yeah.
have a lot of that there. It's not like they don't have this stuff. So I don't see why, and it probably wouldn't be that expensive. So I don't see why they would go that route.
Yeah, it's a licensing issue. And once you get into licensing, it's the publisher's decision, and the publishers are large corporations that are usually publicly traded. Some of them are publicly traded or whatever. So yeah, you can quote me. Well, no, but yes, please quote me on that.
No, but yes, perfect. でも日本語をちょっと話せます。
Oh, there you go.
Oh, and speaking of, this ties perfectly into my discount CD of the night.
Oh, beautiful.
It's Berlitz Kids, 1,000 Japanese words.
Oh, nice.
Which is probably the least efficient use of space on a CD if there are literally only 1,000 Japanese words on this thing. Am I right?
Well, would they be kanji then? Am I
It
saying?
doesn't really. Would it matter, Dan?
I mean, but I'm saying, like, how do you learn Japanese words? Because they don't use Arabic letters.
Apparently, it says learn the words for everything 1,000 words for everything in our fascinating world. Your home and school, the zoo, the park, the beach, places to visit, the
Hmm.
amusement park, and museum, and more.
So it's like a tourist kind of thing. What about bathroom? Is that on there?
Well, it says for
That's an
kids. It
important
says
one.
Berlitz
Well,
kids.
they need to use the bathroom too.
They
Sometimes
do
more than
too.
adults.
It's not just for tourist children on their own, like
Gotcha.
seeing the world by themselves. So I don't know. I don't know if I've ever. I don't even know why this is here, but I found this.
Katakana. Yeah, that's right. Discount CD equals bargain bin purchase. Well, not necessarily. It's just something that's in Julia's stack of CDs that are right above wherever
It's
she's
right here.
streaming from.
Hmm.
They're like literally right above it, and they've been there
Yep.
since they were purchased in whatever
Yeah.
1994, whatever. You know, Donde está
Yeah.
el baño? Yeah, that one I know.
There's a lot of stuff in here. Yeah, this is the gem of my collection, and I always bring this one out. Dr. Schuler's Home Medical Advisor version 3.0.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's probably better than Dr. Google, which is not saying much, but it's still probably better.
I don't know. This is from 1991 to 1993. So any medical advances that have happened in the past, whatever many years, you won't find them here. So
Very nice. That's a cognate. You say toilet without a T, and you basically have Japanese for bathroom. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, there's a lot of borrowed words, and it's amazing because they'll use stuff that they have words for that they'll just. It's not like, oh, this is a new word because we didn't have this fruit and now we have this fruit, so we call it that word. And they have stuff that they've had words forever, and
They keep them.
they replace the words they have that are perfectly good that with English words. It's very strange.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know if there's one language in the world. Well, I'm sure there's many, but if there's one like widely spoken language in the world that I know almost nothing about, it would definitely be Japanese, Chinese too. But those two languages are just tough, and probably because I've not been to the countries. I would spend a little time, like even Arabic, or what else? Spanish, obviously. Spanish, I get to speak. Well, I don't speak it, but I get to be around people that speak it.
Right.
Italian, German, things like that. I've been to those countries and spent some extensive time and learned a few words. Not enough to speak really. So Roke said, it's a crazy old game that came with my first computer. Who shot Johnny Rock? It's an insta-death adventure mystery. Isn't it a full motion video FMV game? I think it is.
I'm gonna look that up because it sounds really familiar. Strangely.
Do you have any of those bargain bin discs that claim to give you more RAM? No, those are more recent, aren't they? You know what? Let me see if I can find it, because I showed this CD to a friend of mine the other day that I was really a big fan of. It's kind of a bargain bin CD, I guess. Let's see if I put it over here. Yeah, hold on. I put it right over here.
While Dan is away, I'm gonna show a couple big boxes I found. I've got the
Oh,
Curse of Monkey Island.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
It's got everything in
AOL
here.
online trials, Sammy Buckets. People are paying money for those on eBay right now. I'm
Are you
not even
serious? How much?
joking. I don't know. The Japanese soft drink Ramune imported into America gets its name from the Japanese pronunciation of the English word lemonade. Interesting. But then ramen is not to be confused with that.
No, because it's like Ramune is Ramune.
Ramune. And how do you pronounce ramen?
Ramen, Ramen, which is ramen, I guess.
Ramen. Okay.
Yeah.
So Eden Waith says he has that box. And then who was saying? Deluxe Tuck said they're still making FMV games. Really?
Well, they're easier than ever and cheaper than ever to make. So I know that there's a few
Interesting.
places that kind of do them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ramen. Yeah, long A. Eden Waith. Ramen. So here's the game that I was going to show off. And it's actually a sealed game, which is titled Planet Fun, The Best of MVP Games. So does anybody know MVP software?
No.
Here are the titles that are included on MVP software.
Whoa.
3-Point Basketball, Arky 2, Corncob 3D, Desert Storm Command. What does that say? I can't read it. Fast Track Racing, Galaxy Trek, King Arthur's Court, Pickle Wars, Poker Galore, and True Blood. Ooh, wonder if they have a case for whatever. Now, here's the interesting part. This CD-ROM does not contain any shareware material. This is all registered versions of all these games.
What? So that was like $500 then, wasn't it?
No, I don't know. I have no idea. Probably not, because none of these games came out in the CD-ROM era. And I played a lot of 3-Point Basketball, and I played King Arthur's Court, and this is a good one if Amiga Bill's still here. The reason I played King Arthur's Court is because it's a bad clone of Defender of the Crown with like less options. That's what Empire of Sin needs Pickle Wars. So now here's some trivia. What is the connection between Pickle Wars and John Romero? That's a good trivia. Corn Cob 3D and Pickle Wars sounds like dinner. That's a rough dinner, bro. Slat Studio. If you're still eating that stuff, man, my apologies. But although I'm going to be eating ramen pretty soon because I think my wife went on a shopping spree this week, so
Oh, nice.
I'll be doing that. Oh, Civilization 2, nice.
Is Pickle Wars, was it released by Softdisk or something?
I don't think so. I think it was MVP Software that published
Okay.
it. So they were both roommates with Kevin Bacon. No. But this is a good question, and it fits right in to who said it? Who said it? Eden Waith said it. Eden Waith. This is
You're
going to
never
be
gonna get it right
no,
now.
I'm never going to get it right.
Nope.
Oh, man. Davor, my ramen turned out super well, but no one in the house is eating it, and now I have 5. I'm coming over. I'll be there in 20. Where do you live? What country? What city? What state? I don't care. I'll be there in 20 minutes.
Anyway.
I like ramen.
Oh, me too.
I need an image of the proper Civ 2 CD so I can consult the High Council. I wonder if I have it.
You know
Oh,
what?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
I have the CDs in their double CD package of Civilization 2.
Nice.
So-
I've had it. I sold it. Romero did not create the game Pickle Wars. He did not. It's a pretty loose connection. Let me see too. Let's see here. I'll give you a hint. I got this today in the mail. This is the manual for the mail order Doom box, which is this. This is a mail order Doom. It's like a small thin box. Not a whole lot. You had to basically, this is the registered version, as it were. So you'd send in and they would send you this. Whoops. So this is the manual for it. And on the back, it ties perfectly into what we're talking about. See this special thanks to? Whoops. Can we see it? There you go. See this guy, Robert Prince? Composer.
Okay.
He was also the composer of Pickle Wars.
That's amazing.
So there's already music. John would already know Bobby Prince. They hired him at id Software to do the music for a few of the games, I think. I don't think it was just Doom. But if you look, there's actually a video online of id Software early days, and Bobby Prince is in the video, and he shows off Pickle Wars. Oh, he did Commander Keen. He was talking about the music for Commander Keen Dreams, and he was talking about how he created the melody for it, and then he later shows off Pickle Wars for some reason. I'm not even sure why.
For some reason.
Yeah. The original copy for the Daikatana ad, John Romero is going to make you his pickle. John would have probably appreciated that, because he has no shortage of hearing that line every day. And he's a very nice guy. Very, very nice guy. Bobby Prince, I don't know. Love to meet him. That would be really cool. I love, meeting and talking with game composers, famous or not yet famous, or never wanted to be famous or whatever. I really enjoy, just talking with them and seeing what they think. If you watch our stream on Julia's YouTube channel, if we can put in, I don't know, do I have your links in here? I probably don't. Can we put in your link to your YouTube channel
Sure,
in the
and I
chat?
can link to that video if you
The
know which
Bobby
video you
Prince
mean.
video. It's something. It's an old id Software video. I think it's like early. They're showing off early Quake. I want to say they're showing off Quake demos where Quake still had or Doom. Maybe it was Doom. Doom still had points and stuff in it. I'm not too sure. But yeah, anyway, that it's a pretty cool thing. So if you watch one of our earlier videos, we covered, what did we cover? What was the video that we played? Well, we've done some stuff. Why am I drawing a blank now? We've done some stuff where we showed off. We had Brandon Bloom on with us, and we showed off Mage's Initiation, the intro. So I love being able to talk with these composers, no matter what their level, their skill level they think is, or their skill level actually is. I don't really care, because if I like their stuff, I like their stuff. Mark Siebert is another guy that I was lucky enough to get a couple of emails back from, and he actually listened to the theme song of the Crimson Diamond and said he felt like it fit perfectly the era.
So good.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah, originally Doom was supposed to have points, like there was like Wolfenstein 3D had like treasure and stuff, but they kind of felt like it got in the way of the design. If you read it's not John's book, but if you read the book Masters of Doom, that's about John, the two Johns really, Carmack and Romero, and id Software, it covers that. Yeah, the points got in the way of the design. Basically, they were like, this game is about blowing people away. Why why do we need points? Why do we need points in Quake and Doom? You really don't. You don't have lives either, right? There was lives in Wolfenstein 3D, and as they progressed in the design, they took that away because they felt like it took away from their game. And also, if you ever get a chance to speak with John Romero, ask him about audio and game audio, because he's a master of it. He's a master of game audio. Everybody wants to ask him about Doom and Wolfenstein. It's great. Listen, he's a legend because of those things, and id Software and Commander Keen, whatever. But ask him about audio. Ask him about stuff that nobody's asking him about, because I guarantee you'll get answers you can't find on the internet. I'm lucky to have some contact with him here and there, obviously through the game, but then every once in a while we'll get on a chat, Zoom chat or something, or a Google Hangout, and I'll ask him some questions like that. Tom Hall, I've had the chance to speak with as well. He's the creator of a lot of those games with these guys. He was working, I think he left in the Doom, right before Doom, but he's basically is the creator of the Commander Keen character. So let's see. There are percentage points at Doom, and yeah, so they're not really points though. They're like completion percentages. Completion percentages, right? You'd be able to not absorb a single thing he said. Well, you would, the Davor, because if you're working on games at all and programming them and designing them especially, they relate to game design. He's known as, I think, as a level designer or whatever, but he's really everything. He's a great level designer. He's a great programmer. He programmed like 80 games before Doom or something like that. 80. That's a lot. So he'd be able to tell you in relation to how they relate to the games, because he doesn't speak my language, like music like that. He knows what good music is and what's going to work and what's not, but he doesn't necessarily talk about it in that way. He's not making sounds. Yes, Tom Hall made Anachronox, criminally underrated game, yes. And that was also another Ion Storm game, which, again, John Romero is responsible for the creation of that. And that, of course, gave birth through Warren Spector to the game Deus Ex, which also is a fantastic game if you haven't played the original. Hey, what's up, Feroy? And Tom Hall was the voice of Walton Simons in the game Deus Ex, the most evil bad guy I can think of. He's one of the unbelievable bad guy. Grammy certificate. Printed on an Apple II laser writer.
I wasn't going to say it if you weren't.
Yeah, but better late than never.
Hmm.
Here's a fun question. What's the most you guys have ever been starstruck? Ooh, that is a good question. That's a very good question. Who was it for you? Because for me, it was
I don't.
probably Francisco Gonzalez,
Well,
Grundislav, or Amiga Bill. Amiga Bill's
in
up
person,
there.
I guess. I'm assuming.
Yeah, in person. Yeah, I would think so. Meeting him on
I don't.
Twitter is not the same, right? Meeting
Yeah.
people instead of leaving my cave. Oh man.
It was pretty cool. It was. I don't know. I mean, in terms of, it's really cool to meet Doug Herring, who did the art for Colonel's Bequest. That was really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. But what about non-game? What about non-game people? Have there been
Oh my
any of
goodness.
those?
Have I met any non-gaming people?
Well, like starstruck moments with non-game people.
I'd have to like actually meet them, as in talk to them,
Yeah, I mean, like maybe or shake their hand
or,
or whatever.
or shake their hand to see them. Um, well, I did. I did meet and briefly talk to Neil Gaiman at a book signing many years ago,
Neil Gaiman, yes, I know the name.
and he signed my
Guy Fieri, interesting.
I think he signed my Good Omens, my copy of Good Omens potentially, and also maybe I lined up again and got him to sign. I think I have a Sandman that I got him to sign too.
That's pretty cool.
I
That's
think
pretty cool.
probably that's the most famous person I've met in person.
See, if I ever got to meet, oh, another Canadian, of course. If I ever got to meet Bill Murray in person, that would be like, I think I'd be pretty starstruck. I'm trying to think. I guess the most starstruck I've ever been was a music person, and that was Jordan Rudess. He's the keyboard player for a band called Dream Theater. They're like a progressive rock band, and I got to actually fly to New York, go to his house for 2-3 hours. He picked me and my father up at the train station, drove us to his house, and gave me a lesson for like 2 hours, which I have the entire thing recorded, which was
Holy
pretty
cow!
awesome.
That's a music person.
That's a music person. So if you're talking about outside. Oh, let me. I want to share this picture real quick. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. This is a picture of me and John. This is on John's Instagram, but this is a picture of me and John. I actually invited him and his family to a gig that I played in Nottingham, England. Yeah, there was 3 famous keyboard players in Dream Theater. Derek Sherinian was the second one after Kevin Moore, I think, was the first one, and Kevin Moore is probably the most loved until Jordan, and then Jordan kind of took it over, and he's been there for a long time. Anyway, so this is a picture of John and I at the arena, and I brought the family to sound check, so they brought the kids and everything, and then he got a picture with Sean Paul, and there's me back. This is in my dressing room, and they brought me a Doom shirt and some other stuff. It was pretty cool. John's a really nice guy, and his wife Brenda is really my entry point into games at all. So, oh yeah, his hair is ridiculous. His hair, it's real. It's real, and it's because he has Native American blood and Mexican blood as well. No, Brenda's not forcing me, but she's giving me a lot of really good advice and pointing me in the right direction a lot. So, and he's a super nice guy. Nottingham, not Ham. Yes, that's correct, Mousimus. Sorry. Oh, Clive Barker, that's pretty cool. I saw some other good ones here. Penn and Teller. So you met Penn and Teller, Roy, or you want to? Dave Orr wants to meet Mark Ferrari. Uh, Julie, you have a lot of Twitter contact with Mark, right? Or a fair amount?
A bit of back and forth
Yeah,
occasionally. Yeah, it's pixel art, mutual appreciation,
that's
which is
pretty
really cool.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and anyway, John is a very nice guy. That's my point of all this. He's a super nice guy. His family is awesome. His kids are awesome. So, Derek Sherinian, yeah. Let's see. Jericho. I didn't try that one. Jealous that he can still grow such sweet hair. Yeah, so funny thing about sweet hair, right? I was trying to grow out my hair crazy. I wanted to have like longer hair than Julia before this pandemic was done, but that didn't happen. eventually went to the barber. I caved and went to the barber a couple weeks ago, and I got to go again tomorrow. See him
Again.
again. Yeah, Sammy Buckets actually, right before I got married, I took him to this barber, same barber that I went to. He had ridiculous hair and ridiculous beard, and I brought him to the barber, and I was like, good luck, bro. Feroy, my hair used to be down to my butt long when I was in college. Nice. Yeah, I never had long hair, really. I never had long hair. Oh, you did actually meet Penn and Teller Deluxe Tux. Nice. Amiga Bill. That's all right, bro. There's plenty of awesome follically challenged members of society for sure. You got Stone Cold Steve Austin. You got Michael Jordan. There's a great one. You got plenty of others. 2000, Dan DiCarlo and his wife Josie from Archie Comics. Oh, so is he one of the artists or one of the writers? I don't know Dan DiCarlo. Dr. Phil. You got to meet Dr. Phil, Sammy Buckets? I think I owned one brush when I was in second grade. It took me to the finish line. I was going to say, did you give it to your sister or something? Yeah, Mr. Clean. He's a good one. I think Follically Challenged is from a Sierra game. I think that's where I got that line. Space Quest, maybe? Feel like it. It's a brush in a museum glass case now. Exactly. I would be knocked out if I met Jeff Tweedy of the band Wilco. Interesting thing about Wilco, I remember watching, Jeff Tweedy's the lead singer, I think. Do you know Wilco, by the way?
No.
They're a really interesting, like, indie band before everybody thought it was cool to be an indie band kind of thing, indie rock-ish band, I guess. And I remember him saying to an audience member said to him before the concert, before he started playing, like, "Oh, your music is like poetry," and he hears him. He said, "My music is like poetry? Oh, I love you." And we had this discussion the other day that I personally think music and poetry are almost unrelated. They're not unrelated, but they're not. Music is not poetry, right? A song with lyrics is not poetry. Period. It's just not.
No, I did not know that.
Oh yeah, no, it's not poetry. Not even close. People say that all the time, but it's.
What's the diff?
Well, poetry, it's just like they think poetry rhymes or songs always rhyme. Songs don't always rhyme. They don't even have any, they don't always have proper meter, right? They could be, the phrases can be of any length. A song is a song. You also repeat stuff a lot. Oh, Jeff has literally published a book of poems, though. Well, there you go. So that's where he's going with that. Jason Mewes. I don't know Jason Mewes either.
From Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, Bob Dylan. He got a Nobel Prize. Yeah, I mean, listen, you can like Bob Dylan if you want. I think the guy can't sing, and I'm not a huge, gigantic fan of all his songs. Some of them are good. But it is what it is, and everybody has their own thing.
Everything you said between songs and poems, they both don't have to rhyme. They both can have irregular meters. They, all these things you just said, they're both.
Sure. But they have to be sung. They have to sing well. Poetry doesn't have to sing well to be a good song anyway. Right? Frozo Grabbins, what's up?
Hey, Frozo. So there's a performance aspect you're saying is missing from poetry, but they do perform poetry too.
Sometimes. Kurt Cobain couldn't sing either. He couldn't. He could, but he couldn't. But one of my favorite songs. Oh, and this is another one I would play, except we'll get a copyright strike for doing it. Metal Gear Solid 5. One of the best music placements of all time was "The Man Who Sold the World," which is a David Bowie song in Metal Gear Solid 5. Unbelievable. Awesome. But the problem with that is if we play that, it's literally the David Bowie version. We'll get a copyright strike, and we could either get taken off the air live on Twitch, or we could get jacked up when we put this on YouTube, which we've already run into. Isn't that fun?
And it was all Dan's fault, I'd like to add.
The Metal Gear Solid 5 is not The David Bowie version? Really? Oh, interesting. I thought it was. Well, I could be wrong, but I love the Nirvana cover of that song.
Mm.
Did you ever hear that one?
Okay, so you're saying that songs where the singer is not really to like really a good singer is not music, right? Songs.
I don't think poems and music or songs are the same thing. I think people associate them together all the time. Like you can just put a poem to song. You can't do that. It's not possible. I mean, it's possible. I should back up. But a great song is not necessarily poetry and vice versa. Yeah, I think a lot of people say they are the same. Well, Gil Scott Heron just sometimes does like monologues. Some of his songs are. Is it interesting? So I guess I'm hearing things. Lyrics and poetry. Yeah, I don't think lyrics are poetry. There's overlap, sure.
Are we gonna do any work tonight?
What do you mean? I sent you those files.
Yeah. Okay, and I put them in the game. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, you put them in there?
Well, I put them in so that I can switch them through a little bit and I can play them. But you could easily play them on your end, I'm sure. And I gave you
No,
the
I
one
could
that.
play them, but I want to hear that. Can we see them in the game?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I can do is I have this death shortcut. You can just it's not in the demo, and I always remove it. But you can just type in death,
Gotcha.
and there'll be a death message.
Ooh,
So. Did everyone's work on a Maple Mystery stream, Julia? Is this your first time? I know. Okay.
thank you, Davor. I kind of like pushing Julie a little bit because she gets more interesting as she gets a little bit like frustrated or whatever.
Mm,
And who said it a couple of weeks ago? I think it was Sammy Bucket says like, "Oh, Julie is like the calm and rational one and you're the more off the or the angry one or something like that or the dark one or something like
mm.
that." Maybe we need her drinking on stream. I don't think she drinks.
No, I don't. Unfortunately, it's one of those enzyme deficiencies, um, where the line is so thin between a little pink and then puking, and there's nothing in between.
Oh, do you break out in hives or something? Are you
Yeah,
allergic?
yeah, I get red splotches all over my
Yeah.
body. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. I've seen that for a few people. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sammy Bucket said, "I'm the dark and brooding one." But really,
Uh-huh.
that may not be true. Tonight's Caribbean Reggae Jam Night. Sweet. I'm in.
I can see about sharing my screen and see if you can get music out of it. But
Well, let's do that. Copyright strike. Yeah. See,
yeah, it's over.
Julia.
What's really funny about the copyright strike though is that my channel is not monetized. So with the copyright claim, if they're gonna make money off the channel from views, it would be like giving you money that you wouldn't have had otherwise because my channel's not monetized, but they would somehow monetize it.
Well, but they will because what they'll do is. So what happens is when Julia's channel's not monetized, she might get 20,000 views on that video, but as soon as even if she's not monetized as a channel, an ad will go in the front of that video,
Yeah.
no matter what. And whatever revenue generates from that ad, well, most of it goes to YouTube, and then a little tiny piece goes to the YouTuber that or the person that owns the copyright to that copyright strike. Or it's not a copyright strike, it's a copyright claim. Let's use the right, make sure we get the
Yes,
right
that's right.
terminology. A strike is bad. A claim is fine. A claim
Yes.
just means what it means. No, I want to check it out, Deluxe Tux, but maybe you can send it to me in a message because I don't want to play it on stream because it'll give us the same problem. So Roke says, "How do you feel about the Myst soundtrack?" Well, I actually don't like the game Myst, so I don't really know it. Sadly.
I'm gonna try to do a screen share and see if you get music off screen share.
After the fourth cup of tea, watch the insanity.
What is this? What? No, what? Nothing's working right now. Share your screen. Why is it? do that? Why does it want me to go live? What the heck? This is bizarre. It's never done this before. I just want to share my screen. I don't want to stream. What?
You have to go live.
I'm really.
Yeah, I don't really like I don't really like Myst. I don't really like the Seventh Guest FMV games. I don't know. They're not for me.
Can I do something that might break the stream?
Sure. It's going to
Okay.
break only probably your end of the stream though. Yep. Oh, there we go. No, we see Nancy there.
Okay, I don't know why it thinks I'm streaming right now because I'm not.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so I'm gonna play a sound. Well, actually, let's do the door open sound, and we'll see if. Tell me if you hear it or not.
Okay. There shouldn't be any music now anyway, right? I
Oh.
did not hear that. No.
Okay, that's not good.
No.
That's not good. How can I do that?
The FMV and 3D killed adventure games because the budgets went everywhere but the story. Yeah, interesting points on that. But really the adventure game hasn't been killed. It never really. I think if my buddy DOS Nostalgia was here, he would argue the point that a lot of those games never sold crazy in the first place. Although I guess, you could argue King's Quest series sold in the few millions or whatever it was. But then what did Myst sell? Like 20 million or something crazy like that? I forget exactly what it was. Oh yeah. Somebody said bust out the steel drums. I'm going to see if I can bust out the steel drums.
Can you hear this?
No,
You didn't hear a door open, did you?
did not. That sounds terrible too. Sammy Bucket says, just make the sound effects yourself. There you go. Yeah, Gabriel Knight is a series I've also not played, but that kind of combines elements, right? And that's supposed to be really good. A lot of people say they love it. Grunasov says that GK3 is good. As soon as I get it running, I'll let you know. Yeah. Sierra Adventure is interesting to read. A lot of adventure games didn't sell real well. 250K, right. 250K was like what, the big selling LucasArts stuff? Monkey Island maybe, or Loom, or one of those. I don't know which one sold the best. But yeah, that's what the deal was. So, well, the sound Sefsi says, will the soundtrack for the Crimson Diamond come out on phonograph? So we've actually discussed it, but the reality is the answer is not no, but the answer is very, 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 very unlikely. A wax cylinder would be awesome.
I don't know how to make the sound come through for this. With screen share, audio is not included.
In Discord, I'm not too sure.
Maybe, you know what I might have to do is I might have to just pump the volume up and just stick my microphone at the speaker.
That would probably be okay.
Okay, let's do that.
I don't mind it. I don't
Okay,
think
let me
anybody
try
else
it.
on stream minds.
Try that. But you might hear yourself feedback though.
I won't talk then.
Did you hear that? The car?
No.
Ugh. Well, that's a bust.
Oh yes, I did. Do that again.
Okay.
Yep, we hear it.
Okay. So I'll play the death sound, as it is in there now. So that's pretty faint. Okay, that was good. You can hear it. Okay, that was loud. Okay. So that is as we have it now. That is the Death Ditty music right now. But Dan has delivered me a few alternatives. So the thing about this Death Ditty music is, I'll play it again just so you have it again. It's so good. You want to hear that again? Yeah, yeah. Dan's got it, but we gotta get its awfulness all the way through. Restore. Okay, okay. Let me pump this up again. Death. It was way louder last time. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not hearing it.
Yeah, it's. Well, this. Why is this happening? Oh, it's no good. Let's see. Let's me check my playback devices. Let's see if I pump up the volume or something. Hmm. I don't know. It's all the way up. Oh, it's not going to work this way. Dan, you know what? Why don't we just play it on your end? Because then we can hear it nice and clear.
Okay.
Both the old one that I gave you and the new ones, and then people can use their imaginations.
Okay. Okay, so you moved us away from the speaker, so there's no echo anymore, right?
Yeah, there won't be. Don't worry about it.
So interestingly enough, I'm looking through the sound list on the MT32 right now, and there actually is no steel drum.
Hmm.
There is, let's see, the closest thing you have probably, you have Sin Mallet, which is this patch, and that's not close at all. Then you have something else that said Pan, Echo Pan. I doubt this is close either.
Is the video not around anymore? Hold on, Dan.
Yeah, that's not close at all. Oh, sorry. Yeah, hold on a sec. The stream has not ended.
Yeah, don't go.
That's your screen share at the moment.
I turned off the screen share and I can see myself like normal again.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
I cannot. Oh, there we go. Yep, now we see you. Sorry, that was on my end.
Although I don't know where I'm at. Am I somewhere?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened to the video.
Okay, good.
It was weird. So what we'll do now is we're gonna play the little death ditties that I have worked on, and this is the what I sent to Julia. If you guys were here 2 weeks ago, you would have seen us make these. That's one, and I titled that. Well, let's share it so you guys can see this. Yeah, that is titled Violin Death, and that's the wave version of it, which I then sent Julia an OGG or OGG version, which is a compressed format. And before we play this next one, why do we need compressed formats? Either Chad or Julia can answer, anybody.
It's smaller, I don't know.
Yeah, but why do you need smaller? We live in 2020. We got 4 terabyte hard drives and 65 gigs of RAM, and Sammy Bucket says to keep the game size low. But why is that important? You download an update sometimes and it's 20 gigabytes for, these new games. Because uncompressed audio is huge. It's nothing compared to uncompressed video. But the reality is, yes, the answer is to keep game size low. Now imagine imagine we'd done this in Unity and we were going to port to mobile. Well, if an EGA text parser is a 20 gig EGA text parser that's on mobile, nobody's going to download it. They're going to want to download a game what's the game size right now, roughly, like 75 megabytes or something?
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Uncompressed installed, yeah.
Uncompressed install, right. So that's reasonable for a mobile game. If we start using uncompressed audio, let's say a 3-minute stereo uncompressed file is going to be like 50 or 60 megabytes, just one file. So let's say the theme itself would be 50 or 60 megabytes by itself. The whole game is only 75 megabytes. So, yeah. So the Davor said, is this planned to go on mobile in the far future? Well, the problem with mobile is AGS. So AGS, there's no easy way to port to mobile. I think you have to rewrite the whole code and port everything, right? You'd have to, as I understand it anyway.
Well, I have seen someone play someone managed to port and play the demo on an Android with not that much work actually.
On an Android, I get it, but that's them like kind of probably hacking through the system some way.
Yeah, like open up some folder or something. There was an
Yeah.
AGS mobile, I think that was started to be worked on, but I don't think it's supported
Right.
potentially.
Yeah. So Roke says I'm trying to keep my game project
Yes.
as small as possible. That you're working on the Game Boy thing, right? That was the thing you
Yeah, it's awesome.
shared with us. The artwork looked really awesome, and the music was cool too. Yeah. I mean, you need it to be small. Trying to type on mobile would be a pain. I mean, on a tablet it wouldn't be too bad. Really wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, and I would love it if we could use FLAC files because those are uncompressed audio. Uncompressed. Sorry, they're compressed. They're lossless compression. So supposedly you don't lose any of the music on it. It's pretty cool. So there are AGS ports for Android and iOS as well, but not necessarily supported very well. So yeah, Edenwaith would be the guy to ask because he ported the Crimson Diamond to Mac, right?
Yes.
So he would be the guy I would ask about that question. I don't actually know myself. I know nothing almost about programming and making games other than the immersion factor of the music and making the music.
And yet I don't know anything about music, and yet you persist on asking me music questions.
Yeah, like you don't like Caribbean music, so why is Monkey Island your favorite game soundtrack?
You don't see me asking you programming questions.
Oh, well, I mean, you could. I'd give you made up answers. I'd happily make up. Oh yeah, you had the pointer in the wrong place. Clearly.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna start making up answers now.
I'll just
when
give you
ask me music
physics. I'll
questions.
find out a couple of physics lines of code and give you those because you don't want to code physics. So, is that the hardest stuff to code? I don't even know.
I don't know. I just the more math there is in it, like yeah, physics is a lot of math, and it would suck to do, and I don't know. You got to reverse the polarity of the neutron flow. No, Dan, you were playing the violin version of the Duff music. Why don't we get back to that?
Networking is pretty hard. Have either of you played The Last Express? I haven't, but I know of it. 3D rotations is what melts most programmers' brains. Ragdoll
Yeah, I'm not good in
physics.
3D anyway, just in real life.
Yeah, I mean AGS. Does it even support 3D?
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay, so let's go back to this death music.
Yes, let's go back to this.
Quaternions. I don't even know what that means. Quaternions? Quaternions? I don't know. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Shortest path algorithms and heuristics. I don't even know what the hell these guys are talking about.
Nope. You guys have gone off the rails.
Way past. I love it.
Let's-
I think it's
Let's bring this
fantastic.
back to getting,
I think it's great. Go for it. Just go for it, guys. Here's the next one I titled Sweet Death. I don't know why.
sweet.
So it's
Beautiful.
like, oh, you kind of died. It's kind of sweet, but you screwed up, but, it's kind of cute that you screwed up. Here's one that's humorous death. Yeah, that one's kind of silly, I guess, in a way, right? That's the way I thought about it. And then somber death. Yeah, this is like, Very interesting. So we have 4 different deaths. So
Yes.
the interesting thing is you could use these in different parts of the game. I don't know if we will. We might only have one death music death ditty that we use the whole time. There's an anvil drop death. Yes. Right after the magic wand scene for Roy. And the laser gun. There's lots of
Yes.
laser guns in 1914.
Yeah, the ending of this thing is going to be off the wall. It's going to be amazing.
You go to Mars. Oh wait, that's Zach McCracken. Sorry, wrong game. Let's see. There's actually
Yeah.
an account that somebody has called Yak Wax Lips, which is a reference to Zach
Yes.
McCracken, and it's Instagram and Twitter account. I don't know. I don't actually know the person. Do you know the person?
No, well, I know from Twitter that same handle.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same person.
I assume they're. I mean, I assume that Instagram and Twitter are both the same because the posts are very similar.
Okay, then probably. It's got like a little like yeah, like big red lip
Yeah.
thing. It's very nice, very striking.
Yak
Um,
Streams, if I recall correctly. Really? That's cool. I'd love to check that out. Yeah, there's a Tesla. There's a Tesla truck in there. There's by the way, if you guys don't have real-time ray tracing, if you don't have an RTX card, run out and get one either now or wait till the 3000 series comes up because the Crimson Diamond will not run without ray tracing on. So probably a 2080 Ti or better, maybe a 3080 or a 3090. Yeah, Julia says, next time be more careful. I love it.
you
All
know, it's gonna
rays
be
shall
my
be
Twitter
traced.
avatar, just my smiley face with the yellow background.
Well, that's what it. Your smiley face is on there now, right?
No, it's not in the game, but that could be like the Roberta Williams death
Oh,
screen where she's
oh,
pressing stuff.
speaking of which, I saw today. Somebody posted it. I think maybe in the Classic Gamers Guild or in the Indie Game Developers or Sierra Group somewhere, and I found they had posted the PDF of the design documents for Colonel's Bequest.
Yes.
And I sent it to Julia this morning,
Yes.
well before she was awake, but I just sent it.
Yes, well before.
How snarky are your death message is going to be? They're not going to be snarky. They're going to be Sierra-y, right?
Well, yeah, the
Or
few I have are
silly,
pretty punny.
punny. Yeah. Yeah, hook me up on that. If I can figure out where the hell I got it, I will. Or figure out how to send it to you, I will. It was pretty cool. There's a thing that, and I wonder if we can share this. I wonder if we can show a little bit of it because I loved this thing that there's a note from Roberta Williams because that she was the writer on this game, right? Was she the game director of it? Of
I have
Colonel's
no
Bequest?
idea. You mean the PDF, the Colonel's Bequest PDF?
No, the game.
Oh, I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure it was Roberta Williams, right? You don't know if
I don't know her her job. I know she was worked on it, but I don't know what her job title was.
No,
for
I
that.
think it's
You're gonna look at your box edition. Okay. Well, while Dan's looking at his
no, it says
collection. Okay.
Roberta Williams at the bottom, so I'm sure this was her.
Yeah. Did she
Roberta
write? Did she
Williams,
design?
designer of the King's Quest series, has sold more games than
Okay.
any other authoress. Is that a word? In
Ooh.
computer entertainment history.
Authoress. I love it. I should be a developeress.
No, let me see if I can. Oh, so I got it. Here we go. Let's see here. How do I do this here? There we go. There is the design document PDF for Colonel's Bequest. I don't know if they said they weren't sure what revision this was or whatever. But look, here's the list of the rooms. What's finished, what's not finished, what needs to be completed as of March 3rd, 1989. Yeah, Sammy Buckets, you were just born. You would have been about a month old. Here's a map. They're drawing some maps and stuff. But what I thought was cool was down further. Let's see. Where was it? She was putting some notes to the programmers that were like, I think this was it. Yeah, Lillian will say, and she was like, okay, here we go. Put the words up 2 nights later, then eliminate them. Action. I'm not sure how we can do this, but I'd like to show Lillian and Laura come into the scene in a small boat being pulled by a tall black man. But I'd like to show them pretty big, or else they were already in the picture going through the swamp when we put up the words 2 nights later. Anyway, I'd like them to be fairly big characters at this point. Let's play with the scene and see what we can do. It is a night in the swamp, and it looks very scary and misty. There will be no music during the scene, only swamp sounds. Now for some credits. Put up the words, executive producer Ken
Right.
Williams. So the first thing you see is the executive producer. Oh, because he put up the money, I guess. Then you see written by Roberta Williams. Then eliminate them and go on to the next scene. And I actually like that. It might seem egotistical, which it's possible that it is. I don't know. But it's cool. I like the idea of putting credits in here. This is like the Kojima thing way before he was doing it. And then same kind of thing. And then they do another little action scene. There's still no music, only swamp sounds. Put up this picture. You like? I assume this is Roberta Williams' art. It's fantastic artwork, isn't it?
It is. That plantation house looks exactly like that in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, right? I'm not even kidding.
But then now we have scary music, maybe a strong organ song. Lightning will then strike and we'll hear the sound of thunder. Put up the words programmed by Chris Iden, Chris Hoyt, or however you want your names. Then eliminate the words. So it's kind of cool. They're doing like she's talking through a whole intro. And that's pretty cool. And then this looks like an alien door knocker. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But do you recognize all this stuff?
Of course.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So they kept pretty much all this stuff, right?
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. So anyway, I don't know if I can share it, but I can at least point to where it is. Directed by Hideo Kojima, created by Hideo Kojima, story by, that's what they do. Organ, but mix it up, use a Wurlitzer. Yeah, I know. This was 1989 or 1988. 89, right? They said that was design document was from 3/3/89, so
Yes.
89.
Yeah.
They have legal pad papers, pen all over them. So yeah. It isn't animated, but yeah, 89. The resolution on that picture is about right. Yeah, it's probably a much higher actually. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the video is gone. Hello. Let's go back here. Yep. Nope, that was me. Thank you for pointing that out. So yeah, it's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool to be able to look at what how Roberta was communicating with her team, because I don't know what her programming level skill is, but I know she was responsible for a lot of the stories, right? So she was writing all these things. Even the early stuff like Mystery House. I think that was a Roberta Williams game as well. That predates what most of us know. That was the first graphic text adventure. And then later you get to King's Quest, which was the first, like, what do you call it even? The first interactive adventure? I'm not too sure. It's not really.
What's funny is that on some of the boxes, I think for the King's Quest 4 box, it says something like it being a 3D adventure, which is clearly untrue.
Yeah.
But that's what they called them.
Well, it was compared to like King's Quest 1, it looked good. No, it wasn't a point and click, because this was well before point and click. You didn't even need a mouse
Yes,
for
Ali
most of
said
the
the
early
same thing,
games.
3D game.
King's Quest was originally titled a 3D game, yeah.
I love it.
Real-time adventure game. Well, not all of them were. King's Quest 3 was. It was mean. It had 16 priority colors. Yes. And then what did you describe how do you differentiate between the two art styles? Where you have blocky Graham and not so blocky Rosella.
AGI versus SCI.
Is that all it is? Because there's an
that's the biggest
AGI
difference.
and an SCI version of King's Quest 4, right?
Yes.
So is one blocky and one's not?
Yes. Well, they're
Oh,
both blocky, but one's less blocky.
gotcha. Double wide pixels. Is that
Yes,
what
the
I'm
double
talking about?
wides.
So is that how you differentiate? Because they're both EGA, right?
Oh yeah.
So you're talking about double wide pixels. Interesting.
Yes.
And then also the dithering. That's where dithering came in. They weren't using
Yes,
dithering before that?
Right, because the double wides were, they were really wide pixels, so dithering would just look like a mess. Yes, the dithering.
The dithering,
Oh.
the dithering. AGI, no dithering. But yeah, but let's remove ourselves from Sierra. They still had games that looked like that, right? With the double wide pixels. There was other EGA games. I'm trying to remember. I'm sure there were. There was CGA
Oh, sure,
games.
Yeah.
Certainly CGA games. They were called 3D because you could walk behind objects like trees. Ah, clearly 3D.
Yes. I love it so much. It's Just perfect.
Yeah, Commodore 64 multicolor mode had double wide pixels. Interesting. Yeah, this it's pretty cool. Yeah, dithering I would think Roke would be your whole deal in using the Game Boy palette or the Game Boy Color palette, right? Because you don't even have any. If you're doing original Game Boy, you have what, 2 colors? Isn't that it essentially?
Yeah, yeah.
On
I
or
feel
off?
like it's the 2 colors of gray.
On or off,
Gray.
right?
No, I feel like it was
3.
like a light gray and a dark gray. Or
3
gray,
for
green.
sprites. Okay, there you go. 4 colors. Interesting.
Nice.
Not many. It was more 3D than anything at the time. I don't know about that. It might have been on that platform, but I'm not too sure.
Dan,
when
I
they-
gotta go to the washroom. I'm going to the
Okay,
washroom.
you got to put up
Um,
one of those Nancy goes to the bathroom
I
screens.
know I forgot or didn't do it or something. One of those, probably both.
That's cool. I'm going to show a
but-
little bit more of the Yakuza 0, I think,
yeah,
if
yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool
yeah.
with you.
And I want to do that thing we talked about before with like my version versus your version of the music and
Oh,
what I used. And
yes.
when it comes back, we'll do
Yes,
that.
yes, I really want to do that too. I want to I want to see it. I'm excited about this.
And I
So-
want to see what you can do with it because clearly, right off the bat, you'll hopefully be able to do better than me. Okay, I'm gonna be back.
Yes.
Time. Okay.
So, I'll want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I'll leave Nancy up there. So it's me and Nancy. Nancy, how you doing now that Julia's gone? Are you feeling more comfortable, less comfortable? Do you come here often? Oh, sorry. I got a little distracted. No, what she wanted to she does look concerned, but she's really she's eavesdropping, right? So man loses mind on stream. That's a good way to get a couple of clicks on YouTube, probably. Nancy, do you feel safe at home? How you doing? Yeah, your hair's very nice. I also appreciate your ascot or scarf, and the way you conservatively dress is quite nice. What can you tell me about voodoo? No, let's mess a little bit with this Yakuza thing because this is pretty cool. Do you like nesting cormorants? No, that's her friend Kimmy. If you wanted to hit on Kimmy, you could go with the nesting cormorants. That would probably work. Let's see. Okay, let's jump back into this because I want to keep this playing because I do love this intro despite the music and the game despite the music.
でもね
So this guy's some kind of executive in town visiting his local whatever.
こんばんは。失礼します。失礼します。
いや、こんばんは。
Interestingly enough, no and yeah. He says yeah and it means no. Interesting. I don't know. Roke, take it easy.
どうです？女の子も粒揃いですやろ。このお方はな、東京のでっかい会社のお偉いさんやで。ほら、君らも顔売っとき。
やっぱり偉いさんなんや。なんか貫禄ある思った。
東京から来はったんですか？かっこええですね。こっちにはよう来はるんですか？
いや、今回はたまたま出張でね。ここもこの人に無理やりね。
そう、せやから君らがたっぷりサービスしてくれんと、私の面目丸つぶれ。頼むで。
なんや、責任重大やわ。
じゃあまずはお飲み物からやね。何いっちゃいます？
どれ？ほう、シャンパンで10万か。やっぱり結構するもんだね。
そしたらまずシャンパンいっときましょうか。
おいおい、大丈夫か？10万だぞ。
大丈夫大丈夫。先生はもうお金のことなんて気にせんと存分に楽しんでください。シャンパンね。
ありがとうございます。でも一本でええんですか？
え？
せやね。東京の偉いさんもおるのに一本やと足りひんのとちゃいます？大阪の人間がケチや思われますよ。
ちょっと君ら。
なるほど。確かにその通りや。 よっしゃ、ここは潔く一人一本いっとこか。
ほな4本やね。
お前らの分もかい。ねえわええわ、4本いっとれ。
さすが男前。お願いします。
Okay, let's pause it there. So, first of all, what was 400,000 Japanese yen in 1988 to the US dollar or to the euro? Well, the euro didn't exist yet, did it? Yeah, it probably did. Or it's just coming into existence. So, the waitresses are just going to sit with them. Well, this is the interesting part, right? So, that's a cabaret, but two women just approach the men, which obviously doesn't happen really ever. If you've ever been to a bar or club, they aren't waitresses. Well, they're what you later they refer to them as hostesses. So they work at the club. All these women are employees of the club. So it's a little bit different than a cabaret in the U.S. They don't really have that. This is more like, to me, it's more like, it's not really a brothel. It's not really a brothel. It's more like a burlesque, but it's not really a burlesque show. I don't know what the basis of. Yes, and the hostesses are supposed to keep them company. Exactly. But I don't think we have too much like that here other than a strip club or a brothel. Yeah, escorts exist in the US, but they wouldn't be employees of the place of business, would they? That's why I was thinking it's exclusive to Japan. And I don't know if it's even real, if it's even a real thing in Japan. I don't know. It might be. But it would be kind of cool if this was like that accurate. So I would assume it might. I would assume that there's probably some truth to it. It's real, and I've only seen in Japan. Yep. So it's a cultural thing in Japan, which is pretty cool. I like learning about this stuff, even if, our culture may not view it as acceptable. I like it because it's just a different culture. Just because, our culture or our whatever may not accept it doesn't mean we can't look on it and learn from it and be interested to learn about it and be open-minded, because that's how the culture is there, or it was in the 80s anyway. There are male versions that cater to women. Yeah, there you go. Interesting. And it's not supposed to be sexual, but of course stuff goes down off the record. Yeah, strip clubs, they're supposed to be what they are. Similar in China too, at karaoke bars. So they're almost like it's in a way it's, yeah, I don't know what the best way to describe it is. There's no good way to describe it. They're just calling it in 1988 Japan, or this version of 1988 Japan. It's not a brothel. It's a cabaret. And this is probably accurate because the team that made this game was all in Japan, except for the localization, which came later. So I assume they would know better, certainly better than me. I'm assuming most of it, there's some truth at least contained in this game. And I think
there's stuff like maid cafes and stuff like that.
Is
that
that
are pretty modern to
like
Japan.
this? So let's say if I go to Japan now and I want to go to a club, is there something like this where I sit down with, let's say I go with my band and there's 4 of us, it's me and 3 other dudes, and we walk into the place, are there going to be 4 women that come sit with us kind of thing?
No idea.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it still exists. I'm sure it does.
Well, I know there are not. I don't know about this kind of extreme versions, but I know there are much tamer versions that are still around in Japan. For instance, you have maid cafes where the women dress up as maids, and they'll call you by cute names and stuff.
Gotcha.
Or there's ones for women where the guys look like anime guys, and they'll treat you like an anime girlfriend or something in the
I could see
cafe.
that. I could see that being interesting to a lot of people, and a lot of people wanting to go visit something like that.
Yeah, they kind of make it all, they make the whole cafe look very, very anime, very, of that kind of scene. So you can kind of pretend you're living in this world in a way.
Interesting. So, well, we have Julia back. Let's just watch a little bit more of this. And then these are way more prevalent than maid cafes. Interesting. So it's about $7,000 in today's money. That's actually not a lot by club standards. Like if you go to clubs, you can easily rack up $100,000 US dollar bill. Like you could rack that up. $7,000 is like you could do it at a club. You could easily do it because a bottle's what? An average bottle is, I don't know, a couple $100 in New York City anyway. You could rack up a $7,000 bill without a problem. Not that I would want to do that, but you certainly could if they're open anyway. Do they serve you on gold plates and do you get to take them home? Not even close. Not even close. Let's watch a little bit more of this.
もう一杯や。賑やかでいい店じゃないか。でも前にこっち来た時は全然知らなかったよ。
ああ、この店が有名になったんはつい最近なんですよ。
そうなのか。
ええ、少し前に支配人が変わってそこから急に。
ふん、支配人くらいでそんなに変わるもんかね。
それが引き抜きから何からちょっと大声では言えんようなことまで随分派手にやったみたいで、箱のでかさだけが取り柄やったこの店をあっちゅう間にトップにのし上げてもうたんです。
ほう、随分なやり手みたいだね。
そう、うちの支配人、夜の世界では知らん人がおらんちゅうくらいの有名人なんですよ。
そうなのかい。そりゃいっぺんお目にかかってみたいもんだね。
ちょっともうええ加減にして。
こっちは金払っとんねやぞ。ちょっと触るくらいいいやろが。お前もまんざらやないんやろ。
なわけあるか。もう
ほら、
こい。
ほらここやここ。
お客様、当店はお触り禁止です。どうかその辺で。
かわいやっちゃなもう。
All right, buddy. Hey.
お客はん、大概にせんと。
大概にせんかったら何やってんねんこれ。こっちは金払っとんねやぞ。ガタガタ抜かすね。
このボケ。
おいおい、全然大丈夫じゃないじゃないか。逃げよう。
ああ、この店で暴れるやなんて。まあ大丈夫、すぐ収まりますよ。
だからなんでそんなこと言い切れるんだ。
出てくるからですよ、彼が。
Boom. And that's where we're going to stop because this is a good part. I'm going to save it for a little bit later. Foreigners. Yeah. So I think it's pronounced gaijin. Did I say that right? Gaijin. It's just foreigners. So you'd have like maybe people, you'd have women maybe from the US or from Europe or Russia or whatever, wherever. That would be interesting to the locals because obviously they're not Japanese people, which they see every day. They're looking for something different or whatever. Someone mentioned the haircuts before. They're so 80s.
Yes, they are so 80s.
Yeah, that's what you said to me the other day, right?
Yeah, and someone said it here too because it's perfect. And yeah, gai means outsider, outside. So outside people is gaijin.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. If you want to get
So-
specific, you would say gai hakujin is a foreign white guy.
Okay. So
Haku
like
meaning white.
if I went there, that's how I would be described.
You'd be called gai hakujin. Well, they wouldn't call you gai hakujin because it's probably rude.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Here we go. Ooh, you sent me a MIDI file.
Did I? Yeah, sure. So play that. I mean, you can, right?
Oh, yes, but I need to download it on the other machine.
Oh, for real?
So, not that it's that big of a deal. Whoops. Let's
You
go
need-
back here.
We can convert it to OGG. See, I didn't convert it
No,
to
no,
OGG.
no. Let's import it because we can change the instruments.
Exactly, for right. Yeah, it's it can be depending, I guess, who's saying it and how they're saying it. Yeah.
Oh, it would be derogatory. Gringo. Yeah. It would be like it could be insulting, but it also could be not insulting. Yeah, I get it.
Just with that, most any other word in any language, I suppose.
Right.
what's interesting to me is how much people like Yakuza 0 and how popular it is, considering yeah, it's made by Japanese people about Japanese culture and they never thought about let's make this palatable for North American audiences. And the same can be said for Studio Ghibli movies. Like Miyazaki is famous for not caring about any other audience besides the Japanese audience, and yet they're somehow universal.
Yeah, I mean it translates really well. Muggle. Muggle's a good one. Alien, right. I don't know, but is it's more PC to say it, but would you call somebody an alien to their face? You wouldn't really call them that. I don't think. I mean, Julia would call me an alien if I went to Canada probably, or I would vice versa if I see her in Boston again or whatever.
Yep.
I'll definitely call her an alien.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't think I don't know if that one's used as a term to describe people generally, but I don't know if it's used to describe people specifically. Yeah, I mean you have alien registration here for sure. Yeah, well that's another story entirely. Without getting too political. Oh, you work for Social Security. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. If you work for a government office, you have to have terminology. Okay, let's see if I can import this.
Well, while Dan's doing that, I can show. I don't know if I've ever showed this, but here's my beautiful copy of the Wizardry trilogy. That has Wizardry 5, 6, and 7 on it,
Ooh.
which is a nice little piece.
The Wizardry trilogy too.
Oh my gosh, there he goes topping me again. You know.
Well, that's not really topping you. It's the same thing. This is a trilogy that starts at 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, and this is actually a Brenda Romero title. Well, all 5, 6, and 7 are Brenda Romero titles.
Okay, so what games are in that one?
This is the same one that you have.
But why does it say 2? What?
Yours
why does
says
the art,
yours said 2. You just missed it.
why is the cover different?
Ooh, the
though?
cover is different. I don't know. Yours also says 2 though.
Yes, it does say 2. I was confused.
It's maybe you have the Canadian version. What is it? Well, show the back of it.
Oh, this is printed in Canada. You're
There
right.
you go. Yeah.
Sweet.
And if you look at the address of Surtec, if anybody knows Surtec,
Mm-hmm.
it's in Ogdensburg, New York, which is where Brenda Romero was born.
Yes, it says right here. Yep.
Yep, and she's from. And it's literally a border town that was famous for bootlegging back in the day.
Hmm.
So I haven't actually played these games. You played them, right?
Yeah. Crusaders of the Dark Savant is a really good game. I've played a bit of Wizardry 6, and it's pretty good too. But I played the 7th one the most, and I don't think I've really played the 5th one. I might have tried it a little bit, but you know the graphics are a lot less there.
Yeah.
But yeah, mine is printed in Canada. That's amazing. I never noticed that before.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens. A lot of us collectors will get different versions. Like if you've ever seen... This is Might and Magic 4, which is one of my favorite RPGs. I think I've shown this off before. I love the box art. If you
So
can
good.
see in the corner, see where I'm pointing? You probably can't see it well. There's a metal artwork I have of the cover of this by the original artist, Mike Winterbauer. And this, in Europe, has a different color cover. It doesn't have this pink border. It's just the whole artwork. And it looks phenomenally better than this one. But this is what we had in the U.S.
It's a great cover.
Let me show off this.
Dan's treasure trove. What is? Yep.
Ah, Illy Swank, what's good, bro? This was a Kickstarter that Mike Winterbauer ran at the beginning of or end of last year, I think.
Ooh.
and he offered this as a metal. What do you call this?
It's a metal print, yes.
Metal
but
print.
just- Yep.
And he offered this, and he offered the Dark Side of Zine, which I did not buy because I'm stupid. I should have bought it.
The one with the horseman, right?
Yes, which is
Yes.
this. He also did the artwork for this.
Yeah, so good. I remember those both very, very
And he made
strongly.
metal prints of both of these. My buddy Anthony, I went to his house, and I actually stayed with him at PAX during PAX East.
Mm-hmm.
He bought both of them. I saw him at his house, or I saw like them sitting. I was like, dude, you bought them? You bought both of them? Man, I should have bought both of them. So
If
yeah,
you could
that's
trade your Grammy certificate for the Dark Side of Zine
no,
metal print,
no,
would you?
no, 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 no. Let's see. Thank you, Bill Kuhn, for posting that. Awesome. Yeah, so
Awesome.
but Mike did this as a Kickstarter on his Kickstarter page, and it was funded quick, and he sent out the awards, and he's been doing it for other ones because he did the artwork for Power Blade for NES. Excuse me. He also did the artwork for one of the another New World computing game. I want to say Spaceward Ho. Could be wrong about that. He also did the artwork for Solstice for NES. So the covers, if you've ever seen the covers, and the Power Blade cover was actually him posing with like a
No
rake,
way.
and he changed it to like a boomerang or whatever. So it's
Oh,
pretty
that's so cool.
Yeah, and he's been
Yeah.
selling. I think he did the same thing. He did a Power Blade version of this as well. He's selling different prints. Oh, I forgot he hit some stretch goals.
Okay.
And he did give like a postcard or whatever,
Sweet.
which is awesome. And then he wrote his name on the back and when it was from, January 2020.
Nice.
He also wrote, oh, here you go. Here's some of the artwork. A personalized letter to me, which I assume he wrote it for everybody, but you can see some of the other. He did Wing Commander cover as well for Super Nintendo. And there was some other artwork included as well. This was from the hint book or the clue book for Might and Magic 4, which I have in here as well, but I'll show that off another time. I do own Power Blade CIB, yes. But I don't have it handy. And I'm tempted to send it to him. He's in, where is he? He's in, Sammy Buckets. Where's the casino? Out east by the falls. Snoqualmie. He's in Snoqualmie, Washington, I think, which is not far from where I grew up. Oh yes, and this is a good point. So who said I was a nerd? Who said I was such a nerd here? Oh, my brother. We pointed this out yesterday or today.
Yes.
So
So
Julia,
unfair.
what is it? Julia is more of a square, but less of a
Yes.
nerd than me.
Yeah.
I am less of a square, but more of a nerd than her somehow.
Yeah, and you're also cooler than me and more of a nerd but less square. I don't get the math.
That doesn't
there.
really work. It's not supposed to
No.
work that way, but it does for some reason. A postcard, but is it a postcard of a lodge in Crimson, Ontario? Well, interesting you asked that question. Do you happen to have any of those postcards handy? Because if you don't, I do. Let me see if I can pull those up.
Oh. Well, they're not in this room, and I have to go upstairs for them. You notice Dan when he shows all this cool stuff, he doesn't show the postcards that I probably signed and gave to him. They're not cool enough. Well, Dan's got a Grammy certificate, and I've got my Ontario Cup champ finalist and champ medals. That's pretty even, I guess. But I never toured the world playing music for tens of thousands of people, so I don't have like an analog or whatever for that, unfortunately. No, yeah, Dave, I do have, like, I've got a box of the postcards, and for patrons, I did like a bit of a postcard send, which I will be doing again. So people who are at the $5 tier, they get an annual holiday card that I send out during that season, and I write a little note and stuff. So expect that if you're a $5 tier patron. And also, I have leftover postcards, so I've
You
been
know
just
what? I
collecting
lied.
those. And what?
I have them somewhere. I just don't remember where I put
In
them.
the dumpster.
No. No, because I literally just got this place cleaned up in the last day.
And you threw them out, yes.
Nope. I just put them somewhere that I don't know where that is. Oh, would they be in there? No, that's microphones.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna get mine, and I've got a Christmas card too. I'm gonna bring that.
I have both. I have the envelope that you sent it in
I
too.
believe you. I'll be back. Like I would say, fill time, but you have no problem doing that. And we still haven't done that thing we were talking about. So we gotta
Oh,
do that.
yes, Sammy Buckets. That's what it was. Those are the ones I burned out of anger. No, Julia. Julia's the dark and brooding one. See? You think it's me, but it's not. So anyway, what Julia wanted to do was show. We got the bird out of her. See? I told you. It's not me. And I'm, usually an angry-ish person, but no. What we were going to show is the tool that Julia used to create the original Death Ditty that she made. And I have it here. Oh, let's call it up so you guys can see. Even though Nancy's here. Do we have another one without Nancy? I don't think we do. No. No. That's the best one we've got for now. So I'm just going to put this on piano because I want to hear what it sounds like. I'm going to mute everything else. I imported her part, which is probably not the right tempo. Okay. Oh, there we go. Did someone get a screenshot? Yeah, somebody clipped that. Somebody clipped the Julia anger. Throw it on the site. Let's see what that thing does. Oops. Let's see what this thing does. I don't think she used that track. Did you use this track, by the way? We found 2 tracks in this MIDI. You didn't use that part, right?
What do you mean?
Ding.
Yeah, it's in there. And why does
It
it sound
is.
so different from what I had?
Well, because it is MIDI, so I just imported it with a piano sound.
Oh, so you've already made it better.
I don't know, maybe.
So here are the hold on, let me get to the Discord thing so I can see this properly. Okay, so here are
Snap,
the
I just found my postcards.
Oh, come on. So here are I've got 2 versions. There's a daytime one and there's a nighttime. Thank you, Ferrari, I appreciate it. And they also have
Nice one for Roy.
different screenshots in the back too, and this one actually has a QR code you can scan, and it'll take you right to the demo. But yeah, so those are those, and then the very first Christmas card I did is this one, and I only have like 5 of these, so I don't even think I'm giving these away anymore.
Oh, I don't think I have that one.
No, this is very, very special edition. Not even Nerdy Dan has this one.
Wow, I'm a little upset now.
You should be. Next is this one, which is the one I think Dan has.
I do have that, but that's actually a card.
Yes, it's a card.
Yep, like a greeting card.
Yes.
I have a greeting card right here, which I found in the correct envelope, by the way.
Oh,
And
nice.
you can prove it by, I don't know if you can see this. I'm trying to cover up addresses. There we go. Anyway, you can see it. We have a card, a holiday card.
Yes. Very good.
Then we have this guy, which is a postcard, advertisement postcard.
Did I sign it or what?
You did not sign this, but you did
Aha.
write me a note here.
Okay.
And this is actually really nice. Let's read what Julia wrote.
Oh no, what did I write?
To Dan, I can't thank you enough for believing in me and the Crimson Diamond. Let's rock this. Happy holidays. Best wishes to you and your family, Julia, 2019.
Blah blah blah.
And she sent this to me, which is pretty cool. And then when we were at PAX East, she actually gave me a whole bag, which
What?
you gave me a bag of postcards.
Oh yeah, to hand out. I guess you kept them.
I handed some out, but the problem was I had to leave a day earlier than I thought I was going to leave.
Yes.
Because my daughter was sick. She had
Yeah.
a fever. Thankfully, she was fine. And then I couldn't hand them out. I was going to hand them out at the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, which none of this is happening. Hopefully, there'll be opportunities for me to hand these out. And if not, I'll send them out before the game is released because, I would have written, "Hey, Dan, you still owe me $5." Well, actually, if truth is to be told, I'm not exactly sure what I owe Julia. I owe her something recently, but I know she at least owes me one diet soda, large.
That stuff's bad for you.
Well, wouldn't that make you happy then?
No, because you need to finish the music first.
What if the game's done?
What?
What if the game's done? The music's
Well, when
finished.
we finish the game with finished music, you can have as much soda as you want.
Okay, here we go. So this is what I had here. So basically, you could change it. You could change like the sound because you were saying something about the sound was not as good or whatever.
Well, no, you've already made the sound better, and you've already given it a better rhythm than it had before.
I didn't change the rhythm.
Oh, okay.
I didn't do anything to the rhythm. That was yours.
Okay, I
Let's
didn't
try
do that as
this.
badly as I thought. It sounds worse in the game, actually.
I think it's just the sound.
Hmm.
It's the sound probably.
Because the
Let's
rhythm
use
and
something
stuff's all off. The tempo's
ridiculous.
not there.
Let's go cellos. See if I can get this working. I may have to change the octave. Yeah, it's not quite there with this sound.
No, that's what you're for.
He said death sound. Mousimus said death sound surely calls for a tritone. Tritone's a pretty mathematically interesting musical interval because it is the equidistant, well, at least in the system of music, Western music, with the 12-note scale that we use, it is equidistant between each note. Like a tritone is the equal distance between a note. But it sounds really out there or angry or whatever. Can you show us now? Ah, nice one, the Deluxe Tux. I like that.
Holy cow, that's really cool. What,
How do
it's
you
got,
do
like, a
that?
little pointy.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
The original Mac startup chime was a tritone. Was it the startup or was it like the there was a problem noise? Is a tritone the musical equivalent of a quatrain? No, it's definitely not that complex. That would be more like I don't know. It's hard to say because even atonal music really is not as complex sometimes as it sounds. Yeah, I don't think it was a tritone. I think it might have been the alert noise or something. Even the alert noise. Who did all those original sounds? Was it Brian Eno or was that Windows? Did he do Windows?
I don't know.
I think he did Windows.
Oh, I'm supposed to say it was Weird Al Yankovic.
I love Weird Al. Weird Al's
Yes, he's
fantastic.
awesome.
William Gates. Yeah, William Bill. I'm not going to go down the Bill Gates rabbit hole right now because it's too deep. How do you do that pointy thing? I
I
like
know,
that.
it's awesome.
Did
Modify an
did you
emote
make
menu.
you made your own one?
I did
TK
not.
underscore TK, huh? So if you do that and then you go underscore TK, no, it didn't work for me.
I'm looking for that. I don't know how that happens.
Let's try that again. Nope.
It's not on my iPad. Where is this?
Yeah, I think Brian Eno is Windows. He will not share it. He will not share it. I don't know how to do that. Anyway. So Sumi, yeah, I like that one. Do you want to show us this tool that you used to create this little death ditty, Julia? Because you
I
actually
want to.
created it.
Yes, I did, and I want to show it, but you know, when I share my screen, you cannot hear the audio on my screen.
Well, can I maybe look at it?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yes,
Cool.
I will link it to you in the chat,
Perfect. Then
and
everybody
then
can
you can
see.
play with it, and you can see what you can do with it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I remember. Depends on how long it's been since I remembered to save my game. Yeah. Beatbox.co or co.
Yeah.
What is co? Is that a country or is that just a thing?
It stands for carbon monoxide because there's one O.
Yeah. Okay. I thought carbon monoxide was is it CO? Is that the symbol for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Carbon dioxide is CO2.
Yes. Okay, so here we go. This is pretty cool. Oh, I'm not sharing this, am I? Let me share
Yes,
this.
you're not. Yes, you're not.
Yes, I'm not. Okay. Oh, can we add in why don't we add in a Julia too?
Why
I
don't we add a
think that
U
would be
too?
nice. Oh, I think I tried. Oh no, there's
yeah?
a Julia. Hiya,
You're
Julia.
too big.
Let's move you down here.
Okay.
There's a Julia, and then let's add me, maybe?
Yeah, on the other side.
Sure, why not? Oh, there's a big me. Let's make me smaller. Okay. Let's just move this over here. Fine. Good enough for now. Close enough for
Perfect.
jazz, as they say.
Hmm.
All right, now,
Yes.
here's what we're looking at. We're looking at what they would call or consider a step editor of some kind. And I think these refer to notes, although it's hard to tell because this looks like a 5-note scale based off this.
And I made all the sound effects with this too. So the door opening, door closing, cupboards, everything.
Really? That's pretty
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
So basically these are octaves. So you only have a pentatonic scale. How did you make are you able to change notes somehow?
Yeah, the different colored ones are different.
Scale. Here we go.
So
Blues,
you can figure this out. no
strange,
problem.
expert. Let's go expert. Okay, here we go.
Are you pressing keyboard keys to do this?
Nope, I'm just using a mouse. So this gives me 12 tones. So now this is what I would want. What scale did you pick? Do you remember?
No. I
Interesting.
just did everything. What do you mean? I think I just.
You couldn't have used easy. Oh, you could have used easy frowny face. Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it. So, and then you can pick your key. So right now we're in the key of C. We're in the expert scale, which just gives us 12 notes, which is like a piano. Does that make
You
sense?
automatically went to expert. I love it, and you've just seen this now.
Well, that's I wouldn't know how to do it so well the other way. Because here's the deal. When I'm writing music, and this is what I tell all my students, I'm trying to get it from my head first. I'm not trying to start with a tool. I'm trying to start in my head. So the Crimson Diamond theme started in my head first, and then I used the MT32 to make it sound that way. But I kind of envisioned it in MT32 sound, if you can describe it that way. Does that make sense? By the way, I can't see the chat, so I'm relying on you, Julia, for the chat. Here's your rhythm. So this is just quarter notes, it looks like. You could do 6, which would be weird because that's, I guess that would be 8th note triplets or 16th note triplets. And this would be, it's weird. Anyway, freehand. Okay, so let's leave it as standard. We can change the volume. We can change the panning. Do you know what panning means?
Nope.
So panning means it's either going to be, if you're using a stereo device to listen to this, the left side or the right side, and any degree of in between. Volume, obvious. Reverb, we can change if we want. Let's change that. You can hear
Slash
that.
Studio says he wishes he could think in MT32.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to like listen to the stuff a long time, and then, I mean, I played these games for so many years, and then listened to the soundtracks a bunch of times, and it's just, and I also did research. I listened to, I remember driving around and just listening to the entire King's Quest IV soundtrack, and then the entire Colonel's Bequest soundtrack, and just listening to them and saying, what can I incorporate from this, and what do I have to, where do I have to go a different direction, and what's good about this, and what's not good about this, and what do I need to do to modernize it, and all these things, and just try to put it into like a soup in my head, mix everything together, and then hopefully it comes out like I want. Oh, here you go. There we go. That's cool. So I hit show piano keys. Highlight 5th notes. That doesn't really help. Octave scroll bar. Don't need
I
that.
didn't even know you could do what you just did. That's kind of awesome.
Enable channel muting. Oh, so here's my channels. Gotcha. So I have 4 channels. This is what this exported MIDI, right? Light theme. Ugh. God, no. Full screen layout. No, this is fine. Okay, so what is this now? This is a different channel. So this is probably the organ sound you used.
Yeah, for how does it make door open sounds? If you go to the lower ones, like the other colored ones, like the red and the gray, you get kind of burp sounds.
Well, you can also change them here.
Yeah, and you can give it like a click and all
And
that.
this is significantly more than MIDI, general MIDI. Ooh, FM expert. Oh yeah, let's see. We can make our own synth sound. Sort of. Transition, crossfade, effects, reverb, chords, harmony. Vibrato, delayed.
It's a great tool. It's very flexible.
Yeah, you can do. I'm not exactly sure this is what I would call good. Let's turn this channel off and do this again. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Can we shorten the bar length? Because you can also customize the instruments here by doing. Oh wow, that has a whole drawbar section. That's pretty cool. Oh god. File edit. Change.
It sounds like black metal.
Change song length. Change beats per bar. Okay, let's do 4.
You can also
Let's check
click and
this out.
drag the colored bits up and down on there. You can make them shorter.
Now we got a proper loop. Oh, and here we go. Here's drums.
Yeah, that's where the drawer opening sounds come from, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can click and drag them to make them longer too.
How do we make one sound? Probably don't have that much control. I would like to make this sound quieter, this particular one here.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think I have the option. It sounds like crap, but it's cool. It's pretty cool. So there's beatbox, and Julia was able to wrestle her way to getting a song, which is impressive considering, whoops, sorry. which is impressive considering, like, how much work. How long did it take you to make that?
Way too long.
Okay.
And it's only like 5 seconds or something
Right.
ridiculous.
Like days?
I would go back to it and come, you'd be like, oh, whatever, and then come back to it and fix it a bit. Because what's great about that site is you can save off of, and export and everything like that.
That's pretty cool. So what I wanted to show was there's another tool that my students or some of the other teachers at my school that sit in on my class showed me. And let's see. Let me jump back to web share. Okay, and this is the design document, by the way. We saw that. This is a software called Soundtrap, and it is available for iOS, Android, and browser. So I just started working with it a few days ago. And let's see. You hit Enter Studio. This is in the browser, by the way. This is in Firefox, which
Wow.
it works better in Chrome. It's designed for Chrome because it's Spotify. You can do podcasts as well, although I don't know how much fun you'd have doing that. You create a music project, Patterns Beat Maker. Okay, I already know how to use these things. Thank you. But what it has is, if anyone ever used the software Acid Pro way back in the day, I used it in the 90s, late 90s, and actually that was how the music was created. I showed off on a stream a few weeks ago. I did exercise bike music, spinning classes. I used Acid Pro to create all that music. This operates in a similar way. Or GarageBand, if you're familiar with GarageBand. Again, sorry, Julia, I can't see the chat, so if there's anything you want to fill me in on.
Yes.
But this is pretty cool. It has a lot of built-in stuff. This is all free, by the way. You have to create an account, which means putting in an email, but it's all free. It has loops available, and if you see this logo here, it means you have to have the Splice version. But if you don't see it, then you can use it. So let's say I want to make my own songs. Okay, these are all free. And all I have to do is drag that into my session. Let's say I want another track. All right. What do I want? I want more drums. Let's say I want to make my own drums now. And let's say, hold on, let me make... here we go. So it puts it up here. I can just loop it by clicking and dragging. It's too loud, I can change the volume. Let's say I want to add another track. I can add another track. And this is actually, you're supposed to be able to use it with, you can actually use it with a keyboard, but that only works in Chrome, and I don't have Chrome set up here on this computer.
Ferrari says, does it have an amen break? I don't even know what that means.
It probably does somewhere. Let's see. The amen break is a famous one.
A famous...
It's a drum, it's basically the drum and bass standard loop that was really sped up. Let's see what they have. Drum and bass. If they have anything on here. No. No, they don't really have it on here, but I'm sure that they do. So you can edit however you want. Let's see. Let's see here. So I'm going to go to C here. don't know why it doesn't play. It should play.
This is all by mouse?
Yeah, I'm just clicking. I don't know what that...
I just need to close the window. I'll be right back.
Sure. There we go. And I can make that a loop if I want. The hell did I do here? Why is that loop the wrong length? There we go. I'm going to change. I'm going to get a bass sound.
I can't believe this is a browser.
Pretty cool, right?
Stuff that can be done in browser. I mentioned before the fonts in the Crimson Diamond. I used this browser font design.
Oh, let's show that off.
thing.
Can you show
So
that, or
that
you can't share it?
I can't. Well, I can. I guess I can screen share it on my end.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Let me see if I can show that. But okay, so let me screen share.
But you saw how quick I was able to put that together. I mean, if you know what you're doing and you had a keyboard, it would take you even less time. And all of that is free. The only downside to it is if you want to use it, it's a subscription only. But it's pretty cheap, and I think it's worth it if you're in a situation where you don't have another option. And the cool thing is, people can collaborate with you literally in real time from other computers. Collaborate with you literally in real time from other
Okay.
computers.
Yeah. It does a weird thing where remember how I shared my screen and then I stopped
Literally-
and then we didn't have camera and then you had camera again? We're gonna have to do that again. I don't know if you can hear me still. Oh no, did I wreck everything? Dan?
I'm here.
Oh gosh, okay, thank you. Okay.
I was echoing crazy. I didn't want to echo again. I don't know what happened.
Oh. Okay. Oh, my email's not right. Oh no, I gotta sign in. Gah. I gotta sign in. Let's just go to gallery then.
Her password is
did it-
password.
Hmm.
In real
I don't know what my password is. Now. And I start. Are you horribly Remember
echoing
how
again?
I shared my screen and then I stopped and then we didn't See, have this camera should and then you had work, camera but again? We're gonna have to do that No, again. it's not. Oh, hey, it is. Okay. Yeah. So so this is the I don't know if font you that can I hear me still. designed for the Crimson Diamond. It looks really Oh, no, weird did here I right now, but wreck it everything? spaces out better. So don't worry about that. But let's see if I Dan? open this now.
I'm here.
I can actually. Oh gosh. Okay. If you, it's a
I
free,
was
it's
echoing
free
crazy. I
to
didn't
create an
wanna
account
echo
or
again. I
whatever.
don't know what happened.
This is this is the font that I created. Okay. You can see there's a space for every single letter, Oh, my and then email's not also right. for the small Oh, no, letters. I gotta sign like in. this. And you can preview it by typing, I gotta sign in. Let's just go to gallery then.
Her password is
did-
password.
Anything you'd ever really want to do, I and you don't can know what see my you can password is. you can Are you horribly
Remember
change the
how I
tracking
shared
and
my
whatever
screen
the
and then I
space
stopped
between the
and then
letters. Support this
Sorry,
as a
I just
trick-
jumped
okay,
out of
okay.
this.
Yeah,
We're
so-
echoing
So
awfully,
this is the font
awfully.
that I designed for the Crimson Diamond. It looks really Oh, no, weird did here I right now, but wreck it everything? Spaces out better. Okay, there. Sorry about that.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know. We're gonna have to figure something out with that.
That was crazy.
So sorry.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You need two
but yeah, I mean-
computers, maybe.
You just mute yourself and then just watch. You got the idea just from that little bit.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, like, somebody could use that font if they wanted to.
Yeah, and yeah, you can just create your own account, and so you could see everything was saved. Everything I had done was still saved there. And of course, when I export it to a true type font or whatever, that all gets done. And so it's really it's in browser, and I used it in the font that's in the Crimson Diamond. That's how I made it.
That's pretty awesome.
And well, yes, you
Ah,
mentioned
Amiga
video
Bill,
next.
dude, thank you for hanging out for so long, man. It was great to have you as part of the stream. Everybody go
Yes,
check out Amiga Bill on Thursday night on his channel. It'll be really exciting. His chat blows up. He's got a lot of
yes,
cool things happening. And it's going to be what did he say? It was an art stream on Thursday. So that'll be pretty cool.
yes. Thanks so much, Amiga Bill, for hanging out. Your stream is awesome. I try to get in there whenever I can.
Try to imagine
Sweet.
all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light. Harold Ramis, or
Yes.
Egon Spengler, as it were.
Yes, it would be Egon Spengler more accurately. Yeah.
Total protonic reversal. That was Dan Aykroyd's line.
So you were not into Karate Kid?
No, but Ghostbusters for sure.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. What a great soundtrack for both movies. I liked both movies. I'm one of those people that thinks both of them are exceptional. A lot of people don't like two. I think it's as good or better, maybe, than one, but nobody thinks that. I actually have
I
a
like 'em
big,
both.
thick Ghostbusters art book on my coffee table that I bought from Barnes & Noble one random day.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was definitely one of my movies. Karate Kid I never watched. People always say Daniel-san. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yes, what a missed
Like, I
opportunity.
don't care. Yeah, like it's not that cool to me. They say, do people say that to you all the time? I'm like, sometimes, but I never really watched the movie.
Oh, okay.
But what's the point of that movie? Is wins a karate turn. He's like a bullied kid that wins a karate tournament or something.
What's the point of the movie?
Yeah, well, like what's I don't know, what's the
Yeah,
gist of it?
essentially. Yeah. He
I
learns
mean, I've
about,
seen
standing up for himself
and he busts his leg at the end, and then he does that stupid little crane kick that everybody did forever at
How
school.
dare you?
I mean, you know. Oh my gosh, Dan, watch the movie. I don't know. Catching flies. I probably would catch flies watching it, but that's another story. You know, I occasionally will go to the movies with my wife, and she's like, "Well, yeah, but you're just gonna fall asleep." I'm like, "Yeah, don't wake me up. That's I need to get proper sleep. Let me sleep
Do you
at the movies."
really fall
Yeah,
asleep at the movies?
yeah, yeah. I definitely. I don't know if I don't have narcolepsy, but I have like some really bad problem where I can just sleep at any point, fall asleep. I don't know. If it happens on stream, I apologize in advance, but it might happen at some point. Probably less likely to happen when I'm on with another person, but very likely to happen when I'm not.
I was on one of those Zoom industry social call things, and one
Hmm.
guy legit had fallen asleep. He was just like this, and we're all a little worried, and someone had to check on him.
Oh, really? Like they were like worried that he had a heart attack or something?
Yes.
Oh God.
So we were like, okay, does anyone know this guy that can message him? And then he eventually did wake up and he was fine. But it was
You know what the reality was is you guys had to improve the conversation, I guess. So that's another story
I
entirely.
can't believe you fall asleep in the movie theater though.
Oh, all the time. Yeah. All the time. I was watching some movie called The Girl on the Train, I think it was.
Hmm.
No, it wasn't that movie. Was it that movie? Probably. I'd fall asleep. Anytime in the movie theater, it's nice. It's calm. I eat the popcorn by like the end of the first act, and that's it. Like the big bucket of popcorn, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But I don't go to now. Who's going to go to the movies now? Nobody's going to go to the movies.
No.
Every movie theater across the country is going to, the world, I guess, is going to shut down. Who knows? And they basically skipped theater for all new movies now, right? You can just buy them in your house.
Yeah, stream them or whatever. I
It's
guess.
like $15 to stream a movie. that's not out yet, or I mean
Yeah,
that's
people keep making that joke about what are the Oscar noms going to look like this year, the nominations.
so. What are they gonna look like?
Well, because
It'll
I
be
think
all
they've
live
taken away
streamed.
the rule that they have to have a theatrical release in order to be considered because
Oh,
nothing got released this year.
because it had to be a theatrical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think they took away that restriction potentially because you have to look at what got released and nothing got released.
Yeah, I mean up until March, and then it
Yeah.
stopped essentially.
People make jokes about the Trolls movie like sweeping the Oscars because of them. It's not gonna happen.
That's kind of funny. I kind of like it. Well, I really like the
The Trolls movie?
No, I never saw it. I never saw it. I only see movies usually on planes, and now I'm not flying, so I don't see any movies anymore. Remember we were talking about that movie the other day, and I said I didn't like it. You're like, "What? This is an amazing movie."
Yes, Knives Out.
Knives Out. It was boring. I slept. I definitely got some sleep in on that one. And I watched that in February, I guess, when I came back from Australia or
It's
when
an
I went.
awesome mystery movie
I don't
with
know.
amazing actors. Thank you, the Deluxe Tux. Yeah. Dan
Yeah,
Brown,
I
yeah.
don't know. Was Ian McShane in that movie?
No,
Who was the dad?
the dad.
Oh,
the
that weird-
grandfather, Christopher Plummer.
No.
Daniel Craig. Michael
Oh, I'm
Shannon.
confusing movies now. Hold on.
Don Johnson.
No, I love Don Johnson. He's great.
Yeah, Chris
No,
Evans was in it
I'm
too.
confusing movies. Yeah, no, that movie was still boring. Both of them were boring. No, that was the one where you get married and then you have to play the game. What's that movie? You have to play
What?
the game where you basically, if you draw a card, you have to play a game after they get married.
What are
You
you
have to
talking
draw
about?
a card. Oh man. The Davor says, I think it has trope stuff Dan would miss. That is correct. I miss stuff like basic, like a 4-year-old would miss, definitely. And then I catch stuff that nobody would catch, including people probably who made the movie. No, it's not Jumanji. No, it's that movie where, what the hell is it called? It's like,
Who's in it?
I don't remember. Nobody good. They have to play a game.
Okay.
This girl gets married to this guy, and then they have to play a game, and the game is it's a kind of a horror movie, and it's decided by drawing a card, and the game, you draw the card, and that decides what game you're going to play. It might be charades, it might be this, it might be that,
Okay.
and then whatever game they play, it's basically the game is they have to kill her before sunrise.
Okay.
I forget the name of the movie though. I was confusing that with Knives Out. It's definitely not
Really?
Knives Out. Yeah, neither of them are good
Wow.
though. It's
Oh
boring.
my gosh. Okay, speaking of something that's good or not good, I've got some bands that I like, and I want you to weigh in and say whether you think they're any good or not.
Okay,
Do you like Vance Joy?
don't know them.
Okay.
But
like-
ask the chat too. Why not?
Oh.
I'm actually a bad person to ask because I'm a musician. I
thought
can't
you'd be the
keep my.
perfect person.
I can't stay objective. I have my too many personal opinions and things like that. That's why I never
Well, what's
ask musicians these questions.
Okay, what's a personal opinion that you have about music?
What do you mean? I have too many of
Well,
them.
Okay, well, give me one very, very strong personal opinion you have about music.
The music business or music?
Music.
The Davor. Take it easy, buddy.
Yes, have a great night, Davor.
My opinion is where lyrics aren't poetry. Yeah, well, a song, not lyrics. A song is not poetry. Songs and
Right,
poetry
okay.
are not equal. That's a
Yes.
pretty personal opinion, I guess. Although I wouldn't even want to call it an opinion. I want to call it a fact, but
Oh my gosh.
it is what it is.
Okay, well, another one that's not related to poetry.
The business or music itself?
Music itself.
Music itself.
Hmm.
Structure is extremely important for the listener. It's not really a con, but it's not that Mousemus, it's not that I don't enjoy it the same way as a layman. Yes, and I do see it in way more detail, but it's more like, well, hear it in way more detail. But it's more like I would have an opinion. So if I'm asking somebody about their opinion on my music, a lot of times it's like they're giving their own personal feelings in it, as opposed to like or jealousy or envy or admiration, and none of those are really helpful for me getting an objective opinion. So when I want a person's opinion on a record that I've been working on, I ask somebody that has zero music experience, because I know I can get an honest opinion that way. Everybody else is a little biased. Like they might be jealous of the track, or they might be the opposite of jealous. They might think the track is completely terrible, and they might say like 50 things that I'm doing wrong. And neither of those opinions are good. Or they might just say, yeah, it's not good. This is crap. I've heard that one from people using it as a point of analysis. You know, an interesting one I heard. There's a online music. I guess the guy's like supposed to be a guru of music or whatever, and he's a teacher of sorts, and he's also a songwriter, and he talks about how much money he makes. He's like one of those guys that, you know, is like, oh, do you see this fabulous beach house behind me? Would you like to have something like this while making passive income from home? You ever see those ads on whatever, Facebook? Or, do you see this Rolls Royce? This is mine. I just bought it with this check. Look at these checks. Here's the check for $20,000. I just got it from some random person I don't even know. It's kind of like that. That's it. He's selling something that I don't buy. His argument, I watched a video he put out, and his argument was, you need a song with an interesting title for it to be a hit.
Okay.
So I completely ignored that. I was like, no, you do not need an interesting title for a song to be a hit. That is 100% incorrect. And he's like, this one, John Mayer, Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. And I'm like, well, that's cool. It wasn't really a hit, but it's a well-known song by John Mayer. Then he said another one, Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran. And I said, well, that's a really great title. I'm not sure how interesting it is, but it's a really great title, and the song is exceptional. It's written so well. People will play that song and listen to it forever. And then I went to his IMDb page, and I looked up the songs that he's credited for, that he says that he's making all this money from. And I looked at the titles of the song. One of them was called Rainbow. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, genius title, man. Rainbow is not, there's nothing special about that title. And his point was, you have to separate yourself with the title of the song. No, you absolutely do not. Hello. What about the song Hello? There's two big hit songs with the title Hello. What is interesting about Hello as a title? Zero. If you titled your book Hello and you weren't named Lionel Richie or Adele, it would be irrelevant, right? Sleepwalk, right. Well, this in the case of what he was talking about hit pop songs. And I still disagree, because Hello by Lionel Richie and Hello by Adele were both giant hit songs. Adele's being a giant, maybe even bigger than Lionel's. I don't know. I don't know which one sold more. But yeah, I don't know. This is the highlight of the stream right now. But yeah, the guy was like, he's like supposed to be some guru, and people are following him like a literal cult leader. I guess this is why most cult leaders were failed musicians. Was like Charles Manson, didn't he record with the Beatles or something? I'm pretty sure he did.
Okay.
And he's like, he turned in to be a cult leader and killer and all kinds of horrible things. But there's a lot of examples that cult leaders were at one point musicians or failed musicians. Was it Beach Boys? Could have been the Beach Boys. Yeah, Manson never killed anyone, but he ordered people to kill people. That's rough. Failed artists in general have a bit of a history, but even successful artists have a bit of a history. Brian Wilson is pretty out there, right? Oh, Dennis Wilson. Brian Wilson has like a lot of mental issues, but I don't know if that's related to anything. Kurt Cobain had problems. He was very successful. Right? The guy, Jeff Buckley, he was super successful. There's a long list of people. You know, even Jimi Hendrix. Like, okay, he didn't commit suicide in the traditional sense, but he killed himself by drinking too much, drinking himself into the ground. And you can go into many reasons why that happened, but that's that was still in a way on him, right? If it wasn't going to be that particular night in the ambulance, might have been another time, later. Jaco Pastorius, same kind of thing. If you know him. You know Jaco?
Who's that?
He's like the most famous bass player, I would say, that probably ever, one of the most famous bass players that ever lived. He kind of revolutionized the instrument at the time. And he died in the 80s because he kind of challenged a bouncer in a way. He in I think it was in Florida, and he kind of the bouncer basically beat him up badly, and he died the next day or whatever. It was rough, but he kind of brought it on himself in a way.
To flip it around though, I'm sure you know many successful musicians who are talented who don't have those issues either.
Sure. Well, there's a lot of issues with that kind of level of success, but yes, I do know some with fewer issues, I guess.
Well,
The ones I know directly, I can't talk about, though.
Okay, fair enough.
The ones I work with, I certainly won't talk about.
Fair enough. I just mean there's this conception that in order to be a great artist, you have to suffer in some way.
Yeah, so that's a misconception. That's romantic. It sounds good on paper. It sounds good in an article. And who writes music reviews and articles? Non-musicians or failed musicians, right? Who reviews games? Not game developers.
Well, yeah, that's true. I think in visual arts too, I think there's that same impression that in order to be a great artist, you have to, you have to be suffering or ill or something.
Like Van Gogh or something. You got to cut your ear.
Yes, you gotta have those kinds of issues, or you have to your best work is done when you're just in the you're depressed and stuff, and
I disagree.
You might have those issues, but you're probably not going to do your best work in that.
I disagree. I think it's the opposite. I think you do your best work when you're at peace, when you're like an athlete, right? If you're at your peak, you're training, you're eating right, you're sleeping, you're taking care of yourself, you're not stressed, you don't have anxiety. That's when you're able to create your best work, in my opinion, because that's been true for me. If you're depressed and things, you might create stuff that's good, but I think you would be able to do better if you don't have those things holding you back, because they're really like demons telling you horrible things. And maybe if you embrace that and take that as part of your energy, maybe you can do it. I don't know, but I don't think you can do it for very long, because it usually, your body, you physically can't take that kind of self-abuse, as it were. I don't think.
Sefsi says it'd be cool to hear what an established professional musician like Dan thinks about other bands. Well, I asked him about Vance Joy. He doesn't
I don't know
Vance
the band.
Joy.
Yeah, I don't know that.
What about 21 Pilots? I really like 21 Pilots.
I only know one or two of their songs, but they're pretty cool.
There's a Toronto band called July Talk that I really like.
I don't know them either. You know, it would be cool to like message these bands and get some of them on stream one time and talk with them.
That would be cool.
Especially with local bands, and if they give us permission to play their songs and not copyright claim us, that would be even cooler.
And we know they're not going anywhere right now, right? It's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I would not want to do necessarily ones that I have direct relationships with, but I wouldn't mind. I mean, some of my friends, well, not some of my friends, certainly all my students and all of the people making music that are talking to me and asking me advice about things, they always ask for opinions. The level of opinion I can give is based on the level of acceptance they're willing to take. Right? Yeah, we could get Bobby Prince's, but I mean, I would have to have a really good reason or something to promote for him if he was interested in doing that. I've had some contact with Mark Siebert, and I'm going to be hosting a panel coming up at PAX West, which is not actually in Seattle. It's just going to be hosted online. And I'm going to be hosting a panel with a bunch of composers, all Sierra composers. I don't know who's exactly confirmed, but I know a bunch of Sierra composers are on that panel. So
But is it accepted or just submitted though? Because there's no guarantee,
I
is there?
believe they're all accepted.
Oh, okay,
I believe.
cool.
I could be wrong about that, but I think they're accepted. Okay, so I'm probably going to be hopefully
Because
going
I
to be
thought
hosting a panel.
I don't know. I'm gonna check because I don't know.
Maybe I'm not allowed to announce that yet. I don't even know.
Let's see.
It'll be a lot of composers, and what my idea is either that we can do it live and have it similar to Twitch where we have all the questions coming in that way,
Mhm.
or if not, if we can't do it live, then I'll try to source questions on Twitter, and wherever we can get questions. But that's supposed to be coming up in like a couple weeks.
Let's see. I don't know. I'd have to check. I thought I read somewhere that they hadn't notified people until August or something, but I don't know.
Gotcha. Well, August is what, 2 days, 3 days?
That's true.
So we should know in 2 or 3 days. Let me see here. Let's see if I can find in my, oh, you're right. They're submitted. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 panels by a person that we know have been submitted. Julia is potentially on a couple of them, and I am on one of them. The Deluxe Tux. I'll see you later. Yeah, so Ceci, Trent Reznor would be a tougher one to get in contact with, but he's probably a good one. He's a really interesting musical cat, I think. Trent Reznor's top notch. He's done a lot of work for a long time. Yeah,
You're correct.
kind of. Bill Murray. Yeah, Nine
Yep.
Inch Nails is fantastic.
Like, honestly, when I was at PAX East, I was talking to Dave Gilbert, and I was complaining that it was February, end of February, and I was complaining that the year already feels like it's half over, and now it's more than half over, and it's horrifying.
You're sick to your stomach right now just
Yes.
talking about it?
It's the worst. It's absolutely the worst. Yeah.
You think so?
I don't know where it all went.
Yep, we did know that one there. Let's see. There it is, Sefsi. Quake. And yeah, he actually did all the sound effects and the music for Quake,
That's so cool. Yeah.
not just the music.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I probably Pretty Hate Machine or Downward Spiral is the one I would know first. I think. I don't know. But I thought that was a perfect placement of music at the time and the game. When I was playing, because, you know, if you guys are of that age, you would have played maybe Wolfenstein first, then maybe Doom, then maybe Quake after that, or Doom 2, I guess. Doom 2, then Quake. But when Quake came out and I started playing it in my high school and getting bad grades because I was skipping class to just go into the computer lab and play LAN Quake, it fit perfectly. The music fit perfectly, and the sound effects fit perfectly. And when I got the nail gun, I was like, wow, this fits perfectly. Of course I'm picking up 9 Inch Nails. Why wouldn't I be? And the little nail box, the box had the 9 Inch Nails logo on it. Awesome. That was awesome. He also said he made no music whatsoever for a year. All he did was play 3D shooters, so he owed us. So, I mean, I don't want to get into it now because it's already coming to our winding down point of the stream if it hasn't already been there. But I could get into the subject of why you don't hear music now that you were able to hear, say, like up until mid 2004, 2005. Why you don't have bands. Are we at the game dev part of the stream? I hope not, because I have no knowledge of game development other than the music. That's your expertise, Faroy, right? Or programming. So yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of good reasons, but the biggest one is the record sales and the lack thereof. So the MP3, in a way, killed what we knew as the music industry. and the availability of people making records and doing all these outlandish, wild things, because the reality is now nobody can eat doing that stuff except the ones that are already established. To be a new band and break is very expensive, and nobody's willing to invest that budget because they're not going to see a return on it. Now it's going to be even worse because there were people that were just about to sign on to a new movie, to star in a new movie. They're going to be gone. Star in a new role on Broadway. They're gone. About to release an album. Well, the album could still come out, but you can't tour to support it. Right? So you're kind of, and that's going to be the case for the next year or two. You know, I don't think touring will resume until 2022. And if you want to know the real answer to when touring will resume, watch and follow Live Nation. They're the concert promoter. They'll be the first ones with information on when concerts are going to happen. And when I talk about touring, I'm talking about leaving the country. Like, my U.S. passport is not going to allow me into that many places currently. A lot of countries, Canada included, I cannot go to. Like, if I went to the border right now and said, hey, I'm going to see my friend that I'm working on a game with, they're going to say, yeah, no, thanks. See ya. See you in a couple of years. They might give you exceptions. I've known about a few exceptions, funerals and things like that, but otherwise it's not going to happen. So there's a lot going on. Just if you want to know when touring is going to resume for bands and things like that, follow Live Nation. They're the biggest concert promoter in the U.S. and most likely in the world. Yeah, what about going to the next major domestic city to see a Weird Al concert? Well, that depends on Weird Al and his band and his crew. Because a Weird Al, it's not just Weird Al, it's a lot of people. A lot of people go into making a tour happen, locally or otherwise. Now, the Chainsmokers just did a concert in the Hamptons in New York, a charity concert, and it made a lot of people irate because there was supposed to be a drive-up concert, and I don't know. But the touring as I know it, where I travel the world, is over for a significant amount of time. So I buy a lot of music on Bandcamp. Well, that's cool. The only downside is you're in the minority. Like me, we're not really the majority of the consuming audience, right? If you think about it in games too, what are the biggest selling or the biggest money-making games right now? Are they MMOs? FPS? MMOs? I mean, it's mostly online or mobile, right? I don't know the answer. I'm just guessing. I would think. Microtransactions. I don't think microtransactions specifically. Could be. Could be like Fortnite. They were making a ton. You'd pay, what do you buy? You buy $1 for a pair of pants, and you pay $1 for a dance move, or $10, $5 for a dance move, or whatever it is. Candy Crush and Fortnite. Yeah. Yeah. So those are the big money makers. So that dictates what kind of games are going to be made or invested in, I should say, in the future. In the indie world, it's different, but the indie world is also live or die, right? I don't want to get too dark about it, but either the game's successful and the indie developer keeps making more games, or the game's not successful and they never do anything again, or they take a job at another game company or whatever their skill set leads them to, right? If they're a programmer, maybe they go work for a software company that's unrelated to games. If they're an artist, maybe they go on to do graphic design, but outside of games, or they go on to do art for whatever. I don't know. I don't know that's more Julia's expertise. You know, maybe she decides she wants to go work for a AAA company or a larger indie company. I don't know. She doesn't know. Nobody knows. We don't know until this game releases, and then once the game releases, we still might not know for a period of time.
Yep. I mean, I know what I would like to do, and what I would like to do might not necessarily line up with what I can do, what's available to me.
Well, think about the Dave Gilbert interview, right? Where he says, "Oh, well, what advice would you give to somebody starting out? I have no idea how you would do it now." That's what he said. And that's a guy you would think of as fairly successful as an indie developer, right?
Yep. Yep.
Especially in the genre that we're in adventure games.
Yep.
Casual market is just so much bigger. That's what happens. Anything that goes global, but indie will survive as a niche. Yeah. Yeah, you upload funny videos on the internet. No, I told Julia before she would become a singer. She would do a full-time job as singing, but after the pandemic hit, I told her all bets are off. Sorry, I have no advice on that any longer. I
Oh,
did
it's
before
terrible.
that.
That was my fallback, and you've never heard me sing, and you still said that,
You
which I
sang on
love.
stream 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, I sang the Band-Aid jingle.
Yeah, something. I don't remember what it was. So Feroy got crazy lucky with a breakout in each game. Which game? Did you do FTL? I think I seen something on your Twitter, as a matter of fact.
Some you know what, it's sometimes sometimes it's just I won't say just luck, but luck is a big factor. It can be, and all we can really do is set the stage for success as well as we can, and just hope after.
Oh yeah, that was Slat Studio. I don't know if he's still here, but he released. We should have talked about this. He released a new
Yes.
Sierra style EGA game this past week, right?
Yes, which is amazing. Yes.
Oh man, we gotta. Can we do that? Maybe we should. Maybe you should talk about that next week because it's got all the art.
Oh, his game.
Yeah.
I have to play it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm so bad about playing stuff.
This looks pretty cool. There's an arcade sequence. I gotta try it.
So Bill Kuhn has a William Goldman quote.
Okay.
Nobody knows anything. Not one person in the entire motion picture field knows for a certainty what's going to work. Every time out, it's a guess, and if you're lucky, an educated one. William
Yeah.
Goldman, Adventures in the Screen Trade.
Interesting. I believe some of that to an extent, but I don't believe so much now. I think you may not be like in the movie business. It's weird. So like if they say, okay, the budget was 10 million and the movie made 15 million, like some people view that as a success. Some people view that as still a failure. It's like, oh, we didn't make enough. We wanted to make 50 million. It's like, well, dude, you're making a 5 times return on your investment. Come on, that's ridiculous. In the space of whatever your time frame was, a year, 2 years, 3 years, however long these take. I think movies take less time than games, as a general rule. No?
They can, but the thing is with movie budgets is that there's so much money that goes into promoting the movies too. So even if it was,
So
like
production was
20
5 million and
Yeah.
promotion was 5 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, you never heard of it. It was called Wonderful World of Mirus, a breedable pets game. You're correct in that I have not heard of it. Interesting.
But hey, look, there's so many like niches, and if something can get successful, I think it's awesome. And it's to me, it's even more awesome that something can be really successful, and I've never heard of it. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think it really bodes well.
Well, John Romero was nominated for a Game Audio Award for a game called Ravenwood Fair, which had a large player base. It was a Facebook game, and the player base was primarily, as I understand it, women over 40 or women over 30, which is a weird niche to think of because nobody's thinking of that. They're all thinking of trying to get kids. It was a game inside Second Life. So if you play I never played Second Life. So if you play Second Life, you've probably heard of it. But no one outside of Second Life knows it. Interesting story about
That's
Second
beautiful.
Life. Interesting story about it is. That's a great story.
Yeah.
Interesting story about Second Life is I first heard about it probably 15 or 20 years ago. I know it's been going on forever. But it was in like a musician, maybe electronic musician or something magazine. And the idea was like, oh yeah, you could be a DJ on Second Life. And you could play your music. You could play like a living room concert on Second Life, which of course now, in a way, Twitch is like that, right? Kind of. You have people play concerts and DJ. But there was no money in it at the time. And there's still really no money in just sitting playing, random songs on Twitch. I mean, there's money in Twitch, certainly. But it's more like a streamer thing.
Yep.
Second Life DJs are still a thing there. Yep, makes sense. Makes sense. Well, didn't what's his name give a concert Tiesto or somebody gave a concert in PlayStation VR recently. I know it was
Probably.
like a rave, like Anatoly DOS Nostalgia is really into that VR stuff, those VR raves. Marshmello did a Fortnite concert. Yeah, I remember that was huge, huge. The Marshmello Fortnite concert was ridiculous, ridiculous. It had a lot of people on. Big famous musicians have done Second Life shows over the years. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. So you're developing a game. It's almost like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's probably like nothing. It's like Facebook, Twitch, Minecraft, and everything combined, right? Yeah, it's a game inside a game. Yeah. Oh, so it's like the Leonardo DiCaprio of games. What's that movie? Inception.
Inception.
Yes. Yes.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
That movie was
What did
okay.
you think of that movie, Dan?
It was
That's
okay.
your
It
professional
was
opinion.
not great. It was okay.
Yeah, it was alright.
Yeah, it got overhyped.
It was fun. I liked how imaginative the CG was, and they filmed part of it in Calgary, in Kananaskis, which I was living in Calgary for a while, and so I love the fact that they filmed in Canada, and you could totally tell it's Kananaskis.
Nice.
So, yeah, is that.
How far is that from you? That's not close to you.
No, not anymore. Now Kananaskis. I'm in Ontario, so yeah, it's like quite a ways. Like I don't know, really far.
Far. Yeah. How far is
Super far.
How far is Edmonton from you?
Well, when I was Calgary and Edmonton are 3 hours drive apart, but Edmonton to Toronto is 4 days probably.
Oh my
driving,
God.
12-hour days.
Very far.
Very, 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 very far.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I like Marion Cotillard. I like Tom Hardy there. I like a lot going on in that movie.
I didn't really understand. So let's see. SL economy is just like real life. Some people are like Bezos and make millions, but most are dirt poor. Interesting. So there's like a full economy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, is it like, I've never really, I didn't even know, like, I don't even hear about it. That's the weirdest thing. I never hear about
isn't
it.
it? Yeah.
Do you hear about it?
No.
This is the first I've heard about it in
amazing and
years.
fascinating.
Yeah, this is the first I've heard about it in years, literally.
Yeah.
Well, I think Twitch is like that too, though. You have some top streamers making a lot of money. And to be honest, Twitch streaming is growing, I think, drastically. And the other platforms, the weird thing is the other platforms kind of disappeared. So I don't know. They actually just sold the company now after 17 years. How much did they sell it for? Billions? Living off making avatar outfits in Second Life.
I love stories like that. I really do.
See, that I could believe, though. Like, that would be somebody probably who started right at the beginning, just kept making outfits, kept getting better at it. All of a sudden, you're getting paid. I mean, think about it this way, Mousimus. The person making avatar outfits in Second Life making a living is the equivalent of microtransactions in Fortnite, right? You don't have to buy them, but that's where the bulk of the money comes from. And I've heard John Romero talk on this extensively on one of his online talks, where he talks about microtransactions being totally fine if it's not a play-to-win situation. Cosmetic upgrades being the biggest thing. Dances, whatever, emotes, things like emojis, whatever. Those are like the biggest things. So I saw a documentary. Yeah, I just read that one. So yeah, that's, it's totally the similar thing. I agree too. I mean, you have to make money somehow. You don't buy a boxed game anymore for $60, $50. Right? I mean,
well, they're trying to make it more expensive now. I think they're trying to up the average price to 70. Is that what I heard?
Really? I didn't know.
Yeah.
So my game, you have to pay $1 a month for food for each pet, and there have been almost 9 million pets. Good Lord. So the game's
really
making
amazing.
9 million a month,
Yeah.
or it's grossing, I should say.
That's awesome.
PS5 will be $69.99. So PS5 games, but that I don't know. That may be sustainable. It may not be. But
They're still gonna have microtransactions in.
the reason PS5 is in a good situation, I think, is because you're very console specific. Although it's pretty much like that on PC. You can't pirate PS games anymore. Did people have pirated PS3? Some, but it was very rare. It's like not a common thing. You know, Dreamcast piracy killed it. It's selling wallpapers for people's MySpace pages. Oh man. It's duplicatable if it's not duplicatable, I should say. It's the similar story. It's like you just said, the girl did that, and then the other guy was selling avatar outfits. That's what they're doing. Yeah. So if you get on something at the start of it and you just hit it at the right time, but I kind of think in a way that's the equivalent of hitting the lottery. You know, as you said, it's not. You can't repeat it. So her advice.
Yeah.
It might be suspect, except for, you know, maybe she has some business advice, but paying cash for a house is never a good idea, even if you have the cash for it. That's another story.
Oh, so your brother would know all about this, right? And I guess you know because of him.
Not this brother. And no,
The
not
brother.
that brother doesn't know about buying real estate. So basically, if you buy a house and the house appreciates ahead of the rate of your interest rate, you're actually making money by paying a mortgage, as opposed to if you just bought it in cash, you wouldn't be making that money. Or even better, if you live in a country like Jamaica and you're making US dollars as your income, and you take out a loan for 100,000 Jamaican dollars, let's say, which is not very much money. That's like $700 or something. But let's say you take out the $100,000 Jamaican dollar loan, and the US dollar price against the Jamaican dollar rises, so the US dollar buys more Jamaican dollars. Your loan is effectively decreasing. So that's I've known plenty of people that have situations like that, where the currency that their local currency that they're in versus they're making, let's say, euro or US dollars or pounds, it rises. All of a sudden their loan is like peanuts. So if the dollar value in Jamaica goes in half, you just made a 50% profit on your house that you have a mortgage on. So it doesn't make sense to pay it off, because especially if the dollar is falling, your local currency is falling. But that's, you know, I'm certainly no financial advisor or real estate master. Yeah, but there's no way I could have predicted all this or could offer it advice to someone else. Right, because it was just like just a chance thing. But you could in a way. Maybe for what you designed, your business model that you designed was a smart one. You happened to have the right product, but the way you had it set up, it went. I don't know. See, I hear this. I happen to go viral. I suspect viral is not so organic as we think, right?
Well, you probably see this a lot in the music industry, Dan. Like, are there ever songs that you hear that you think this is going to be a big hit and then it doesn't hit?
All the time. And more often I hear number one songs that don't belong at number one.
Interesting.
And that I know for a fact. There's reasons behind that have zero to do with the song being that great or whatever. There's organicism, that's not a word. There's organic things that happen in the Billboard Hot 100, but there's plenty of inorganic things that happen. Minecraft. Right. Minecraft was a huge one. But viral. Do you remember the tweet? The Animal Crossing tweet? That my theory on that one? That you did?
Popular?
You did an EGA demake of Animal Crossing, and my theory was if you did that, it would get way more retweets and likes and followers than any other previous tweet.
Well, that's why I owe you the first Diet Coke.
Oh, that's right. There we go. Boom. Now it's on record. But my theory was it was an example of a manufactured viral thing. But it was cool because you were looking for an idea of something cool to demake. It fit perfectly with what we were doing, or with what you were doing. And it just happened to be at the right time, right? So that makes sense. I sold the poker chips people played a Ponzi scheme with. That's funny. I hear number one songs all over that don't belong at number one. There's an industry machine behind that, hyping it to the top. Absolutely. So if you take a look at the Billboard Hot 100 at any given time, you'll see a lot of the same artists. So there are not 100 artists on the top 100. There are 100 songs. Oftentimes, one artist might be on there 10, 12, 15 times in 1 week because the Hot 100 changes every Tuesday or thereabouts. So you might have 15 spots occupied by one artist or one artist. Or, you know, you might have a featuring Taylor Swift or featuring Drake or featuring Cardi B or Cardi B with. So you might see that. If you look at the Hot 100, that happens all the time. And yes, there's a lot of reasons behind the artificial hyping to that. It's not all artificial, but there's plenty that makes it artificial. And there's a big difference between being number 2 on the chart and being number 1. A huge difference. Number 1, they talk about you forever and remember it, potentially anyway. Number 2, it never quite does it. Although there are songs that never really came anywhere close to the number 1 on the Billboard chart and are now huge hit songs much later, right? So there's a lot to it. Music artists feature each other way, way, way more than they did ever. Yes. And do you know why that is, Bilkun? Pretty simple and pretty non-musical answer to that. Cross promotion. Yes, sir. That's it. So if Julia has 10 million fans and Dan has 5 million fans, a song featuring will expose Dan's 5 million fans to Julia's 10 million and vice versa. Julia's 10 million to Dan's 5 million. And even if 4 million are crossed over from each other, that still means she's getting exposed to 1 million new fans and I'm getting exposed to 5 million new fans or 6 million new fans. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so how does that get arranged then? Is that something where you say, okay, well, you enter in this business partnership and then you try to make something that one person features another person, or how does that work?
What do you mean?
So, okay, when they have a song where X is featuring Y, do they work that out first and then try to come up with a song that they can both do together, or does the
There
song
are
come first?
so many songs floating around, it doesn't even matter.
Okay, so you can just pick anything and you
Pick
can just have
anything. They
Okay.
have records. And sometimes it doesn't work, but it depends on how much they're going to pay for it and how much they're going to push it.
Okay.
And what producers have different songs that they give to artists based on the level of the artist currently. So if I'm working with Madonna, let's say in the 90s or in the 80s, and she's huge, and then I have a new artist named Jewel, or Jewel's a bad example, a new artist named, well, let's say Sean Paul. It's 1999. I'm not giving Sean Paul the Madonna material. The Madonna material is better. It has a bigger chance of going bigger.
Okay.
So I'm giving it to Madonna. Now it's 2004. Sean Paul's the biggest thing ever. So now I'm giving it to Sean Paul instead of, I don't know, Aubrey Graham. And now it's 2011. And Drake, a.k.a. Aubrey Graham, is the biggest thing on the radio.
Right.
And I'm no longer giving those records I would have once given to Sean Paul. Now I'm giving them to Drake because Drake is the hottest and Drake is hotter than X. There's also the overplay effect on popular radio stations or retail store audio to artificially inflate popularity. Follow Me by some guy calling himself Uncle Cracker is the biggest, most annoying one I recall myself. So what happened is the radio stations across the U.S. are essentially mostly owned by one company. iHeartRadio, you've heard of, or iHeartMedia, which is related to Live Nation, the biggest concert promoter, which is related to, used to be Cablevision, I think. Or sorry, Clear Channel. iHeart used to be called Clear Channel. So they all are owned by each other. So they own, it's like vertical integration back Standard Oil days, if you know Rockefeller. You have the concert promotion, you have the radio stations. What is a radio station's job? To sell advertising time, right? Let's say you're a big advertiser. You can control who gets what. Let's say you're a big advertiser like Pepsi. And Pepsi does the Super Bowl halftime show, right? Every year. Super Bowl halftime show, or well, Super Bowl is the biggest television event in the US, I think in the world sometimes. Isn't it?
World
in
Cup.
the world? I think it's bigger than the World Cup.
No,
No? You sure?
no, I don't think so.
I think it's the Super Bowl. Anyway,
I really don't think it's a Super Bowl.
it doesn't matter. It's
Yes.
huge. It's one of the
It
biggest.
does matter, but anyway, go.
Okay, it
Keep
does
going.
matter, but it's one of the biggest, regardless.
Yes.
So Pepsi buys the halftime show. Who plays the halftime show? Beyonce. Beyonce did it. Well, this is years ago, not currently. Beyonce did it because Pepsi entered into a $50 million contract with Beyonce. Right before that, they announced she was then going to be the Super Bowl halftime show because Pepsi buys all this advertising time on the Super Bowl. That's why it's the Pepsi-Cola halftime show, right? The radio stations are being advertised on by Pepsi, so therefore the Beyonce music would be pushed more. They advertise at the end of the Super Bowl halftime show that Beyonce's tour is about to start. You can buy tickets now on Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster is owned by Live Nation, who also owns the concert promotion and a lot of the venues, the major venues in the U.S. So it's vertical integration, and it's not quite a monopoly, but it's pretty close. Duopoly, whatever. Oversugared, nutritionless drink that is bad for you. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, there's no reason they should be successful, but they're unbelievably successful.
Pepsi, it is the best example of the advertising.
Yeah.
Successful advertising. That's all it is. There's literally nothing to that beverage, as you say, Bill Kuhn. It's nothing but bad, but it gets sold millions and millions every day because of advertising.
McDonald's.
It's like a miracle.
Wendy's. And I love these places. I don't love McDonald's. I love Wendy's. I love
But that's
Taco
food,
Bell.
at least it's sustenance, right?
Is it?
Pepsi's nothing.
Both of them will kill you.
Okay, yeah. Well, in a way, yes, but I at least there's nutrition in McDonald's hamburgers. There's literally nothing, and it's harmful.
True.
Pepsi,
True.
including
you can
the
use
diet, but
you can use it
that's
to
what you
clean
want.
your golf clubs.
Yep.
Corn subsidies. Yeah, well, we're going too deep down that rabbit hole, but yes. It is there, and marketing. That's the point of it, right? Marketing. But I do believe that viral is not as organic as we think, for the most part. It used to be. I think it was at one point. I don't think that is what it is now. The Dan mentioned show. I like that show. No, I'd rather participate with the chat than Julia any day. I mean, did I say that out loud? Oh man.
Oh man.
The deep corn state. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think marketing is a big part of it. I do think it is a big part of it, but you can't survive on marketing alone. You do need a product, and you do need a product that people want at the time that you sell it, right? Like once they invent something that automates a process, if you're still selling the thing that's pre-automation, then it's no longer useful.
Okay, Pepsi is not a product. Pepsi actually, they're not selling Pepsi when
Poison.
they sell Pepsi on the TV.
It's like rat poison or something.
They're selling a lifestyle, or they're selling whatever nostalgia, or they're
Branding.
selling an idea,
Marketing.
or they're selling association with celebrities. They're not selling the product because the product is nothing. It's gross.
That's interesting. Yeah. That's where we're at. We're knocking Pepsi. By the way, thank you for watching this stream. It's been sponsored by Pepsi-Cola, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and Wendy's hamburgers, and other soft drink beverages.
Yeah,
There.
all of them.
We made sure we got our advertising money in.
Oh yeah, all that advertising money.
The revenue is literally streaming in. The Wayne's World clip about sponsors. No, I don't remember it. What did they say? I remember the
Is-
Billy Madison one.
I think it was. I think it was a Coke. Was it a Coke one?
Don't forget Philip Morris. Sure. Yeah, there's definitely nothing redeeming about a cigarette. Nothing good for you about a cigarette. Or alcohol for that matter.
But so that's when you know when they're not actually selling you on the virtues of the product or the benefits of the product. When they're selling a lifestyle or they're showing Clint Eastwood smoking it or everything like that, they're trying to associate it with something else. Like they're trying to associate it with being cool or they're trying to associate it with being a man, etc. It's not
This
about the
stream has
product.
been brought to you by Cool Cigarettes and the Marlboro Company.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
don't think for a second that I wouldn't. Chill.
me,
Okay.
me too. I got baby diapers to buy.
Yeah,
Thank you.
let's get that straight, okay? Let's really.
Which exactly is the feeling I says cola offshoot drinks. There must be garbage, but somehow Pepsi. Yeah, and there's entire aisles dedicated to it. Something that literally does nothing for you and has no. So you ever watch that TV show Shark Tank?
Yes.
If you went on a show like that with a product like Pepsi, they would literally laugh you out the room. Hi, what is this? Oh, it's a drink. Yeah, what's good about it? Nothing.
Yeah.
What's in it? Sugar, a lot of it. What color? How come it's brown? Oh, because we stuck color in it. How come it's clear? Oh, well, we cleared it. What? So and people buying this? Actually, yes, billions of people are buying it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's a very interesting one. They would probably have a good explanation for it.
Not in this day and age,
No?
No.
Because of its brand identity that's been around so long?
Yes. 100%.
What's Raid Shadow Legends? I don't know Twitch lingo anyway.
It's some ad that comes up all the time.
Oh, gotcha.
Also YouTube, I think. I think it sponsors stuff and people play
gotcha.
it because it's. If you're getting Dan, when you get to be a big enough Twitch streamer, what you'll have is you'll get these sponsors approaching
How much
you to play.
How much more do I have to eat and drink to be a big enough Twitch streamer?
Way more. But if
Okay.
you get to a certain level or something, then people start paying you to play their game on stream or eat their game on stream, I assume. So.
Oh, gotcha. Like Jay's 2 cents gives World of Warships all the time.
Yeah, something like that. Or we would stream Raid Shadow Legends for a bit, etc.
You need to wear a low-cut push-up top, Dan. There's nothing to
That
push
too.
up yet, but there'll be soon enough as this thing doesn't end soon. Yeah.
Keep drinking that diet soda.
I'll have to borrow some support from my wife. Yeah, no, that would not be a good thing. Yeah, I don't know. I beyond me. But marketing is key, and viral, in my opinion, is not as organic as I think people make it out to be. I think I just keep going back to the one tweet. We got to come up with another one or two tweets that go viral that do it. I think it's the EGA thing. Yeah, I've been trying to walk Bill, but it's tough. It's tough for me. I got a little baby at home.
Well, here's something I can chill for, actually. Oh, Sefsy says, mobile game with very aggressive advertising. Even relatively small Twitch streamers with a regular audience in low hundreds have been approached and paid to shill the game. Yeah, I've seen examples of that, Sefsy. There was this weird castle game I saw going around for a little bit. But yeah, if I can chill for something that's not paying me anything.
I wonder if Amiga Bill's there. Amiga Bill's got usually over 100 people watching him.
Yeah, I think he's got sponsored stuff.
Yeah.
I've been doing, there's this Nike Training Club app you can get for your phone, and I'm pretty sure it's free. And it's got a bunch of different workouts that are broken down. You can do a search and filter broken down by how many minutes, if you have equipment, if you don't have equipment, level of activity, etc., like body area, etc. And I've been really enjoying Cristiano Ronaldo's 15-minute ab workout.
I bet you have.
It's been excellent. And it's actually, I have some lower back issues that I've been getting better at, and it doesn't bother the lower back, except I swap out one exercise that he does in that. So I will shill for that. I quite like it because it doesn't require any equipment, and then it's done in 15 minutes, and it actually plays the music on your phone while you're doing it, plus the timing and the prompts and stuff. So I gotta say I like that one quite a bit, and they've got a ton of other ones too.
Why did the stupid goddess dumb? Oh,
is
they thought. I think Bill. They thought your comment was modded. They modded your comment for some reason.
Who
I don't know
modded?
why. That was auto modded. I guess they thought you were calling either me or somebody else dumb or something. I don't know. Stupid.
That's
Whatever.
weird. I've never seen that before. How come your logo is all flipped
Yeah.
around? It's like, who's doing that?
Sam.
How did he do that?
I don't know. He's typing something. He's doing something. I was saying G-rated swear words. Yeah, but I guess it's just the combination.
Weird.
Most mobile games are pay to win.
How are they modifying your emoji? I have no idea how they do
I don't
that.
know. Spend channel points to modify. I can't even do that, can I? I have my
We should be able to. What the heck?
modify a single emote. Oh, you sure can.
Oh, that's so cool. I want to do one.
Oh, there we go. Oh, that's even better.
Modify a single emote? Oh my gosh. Okay, awesome.
Well, I have
Yes.
infinite channel points, so I can do whatever the hell I want.
Select an emote to modify. Oh, look at that.
Pretty cool.
Oh, yes.
They'll kick you. You can. Are you mod Sammy Buckets? I think you are, right?
Are these my only options? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're already a moderator of this channel. Oh, yeah, I don't even know. See, I don't even know what the symbols mean. Oh dear. Anyway,
Sweet.
let's see who else is
Yes.
on Twitch because I think I'm gonna jump off. But let's see if we can raid anybody. It's kind of late, but let's try it. Let's see who. Oh, the Renaissance is on.
Cool.
Should we raid him?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's hit him up. Let's see. Oh, he's playing some NES stuff. That's pretty cool.
Sweet retro NES, yeah.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Perfect.
Let's see if this worked. Oh yeah. Boom.
Nice.
And I'll hit raid now, and we will go.
Perfect. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. Ooh.
I think we're off already.
Oh. Oh well. That's all good. Sweet. Let's just say hello. At the Renaissance. Oh, nope, that doesn't work. The Renaissance.